But
That's
I'm
fine.
out. I'm out already. I'm gone. I'm dead.
Man down! Man
Man down!
down!
Man down! It took all my brain power to try and force a victory against Matt on Monday, so I haven't got much left. I've been distracted like a kitten following a laser pen all the rest of the week.
Did you beat him?
I did. It was very. It was. Talk about being carried by one model, and you've got Helios. That model is. I proxied the Hyperion into Helios and tried to run the old what do you call it? Assyria. Tried to run the old infantry grind Assyria around a colossal build.
Yeah.
Let's just say everybody's in. All the votes have been counted, and House Guard are awful. Like, they're just done. They are literally just done.
You're ready to say they're trash.
I'm ready to say they. Halberdiers still meet a niche roadblock, but they're a bit more pricey now. So, yeah, Sentinels, and the only thing, each one feels a kind of weird arc where you really want to kind of take them, because you've got anti-stealth shooting,
which Mr. Topham.
I made it work. Hello.
Oh God, you look sexy.
It's weird. It's weird.
Throw all decorum out.
I'm out. I'm out.
Rip.
So the problem you've got is you've got Rat 5 infantry. They miss a lot. They've got to be aiming. Stuff gets to them in the end. Forests are a thing.
Yeah, forests are really a thing.
And they got and they just got that weird, like, they get an extra dice if they're like 8 inches away from you, and yeah, if they're 8 inches away from you, they're probably already dead to something else. The Halberdiers
are we discussing mercenaries?
No, House Guard, how utterly woeful they are. Everything
Sentinels.
What's that?
Just replace everything with Sentinels.
Yes, that is literally the plan from here on out. But you do want some shooting in an Ossian list, so double Stormfalls then, and that's it. But Matt's list is a nasty killing machine with lots of incorporeal, and it won a tournament quite recently. So
okay,
with Matt piloting it,
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gatsby 3, all the Crixie type horses, and then Blackbane's, whatever the hell they are.
Ghost Raiders.
Yeah, Ghost Raiders, which get swapped out for either Raiders or them. So
Ghost Traders.
Where are we live?
YouTube.
On your YouTube.
Denmark.
Yes.
I can't see it. I'm looking at your YouTube and I can't see it.
Interglobally.
I've literally just clicked the link that I posted to Twitter and it's live now. I can see it.
Okay, that's fine. You posted it to Twitter, I'll just steal that.
You think we'd be big in Norway? Or Denmark?
Forget Norway.
On that subject, what are our listening figures at the moment, Mike? Have we got any idea?
I don't know, because I've just switched hosting platform again.
Every week.
No. I switched it a couple of weeks ago because archive.org have started this bizarre thing where, how to do it in layman's terms. Essentially, when iTunes looks for podcasts, it looks for an audio link. The problem is that archive.org, unless you do some real faffing about with it, now supplies a redirect from the link it gives you to another one, which registers in iTunes as text. Which means it goes, oh, no podcast here, and just ignores you. And so I've done some stuff, and we're back on Amazon Web Storage again because, quite frankly, I've had enough.
Isn't that where I put us to start with?
Yes.
So you've gone full circle and gone back to where I started this whole thing.
Christ.
Because I got so fed up of faffing about.
That's
with
why I
archive.org.
started there. It was because I couldn't be bothered faffing about.
The faffening.
I have actually got to the point now where I'm considering writing the RSS feed myself. That's how bad it got. Because it got to the point where I was posting the podcast, and it's like every other one was turning up when it was the same exact text. It's just like, what is this? I can write these enclosures myself. It's fine. But I've not quite got to that. Because, again, more faff. I'd have to close down our feed burner account and...
So, before all this bullshit, do you know what our figures were?
let me have a look. Because the problem is that Amazon, for some reason, has no proper statistics engine.
Lovely.
It just tells you-
Basically, there's no easy answer to your
If you had to guess,
4. Just put a random number out there. 4.
Okay. The last episode, which I didn't delete the link for, was episode 67,
Okay.
which had 243. And let's see. Okay, going from 59, which is the top 2 rows, we've got 312, 374, 415, 300, 222, 349, 194, 243.
So actually, figures haven't changed that much since the early days, then.
Well, we did have that period on Muse where an awful lot more people downloaded the show.
Yeah.
why did we go away from Muse, if you don't mind me asking? I don't really know what happened there.
Mike hates them.
I don't hate them. I
Have a strong dislike towards them.
Can we start some controversy?
no, not really.
Oh, can we manufacture something?
I just felt that where Muse were going with their podcasts and the
Selection of...
what they wanted from us and what they were as a network and what they were doing didn't necessarily fit with what we were doing. And so, I mean, we do still have the open account at Muse. It is still there to post to if we want to. I just don't. And in essence, part of it is I would be trebling my workload to actually get it working on Muse as well. And
Don't get paid for this.
no. In fact, at the moment, I am paying to do this. So
Ooh. Should we start Patreon?
No.
I will jab a fork in your eye, Benj.
I've got glasses on. It will have to be extra thick.
I honestly don't think a Patreon is such a bad idea.
Do you honestly think it would take off, though?
Probably not.
I don't. I think we've got a small listener base. I'm okay with where it is, and to be honest, paying $2 a month is not the worst.
So we're just waiting for Kurt, or is that what we're doing right now?
Yes, he said he'd be on in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
If we did have a Patreon, I could put together some special content, which is me ranting for 3 minutes about something.
How would that be any
post
different
everyone.
from the show?
Whatever's
It
growing
would-
is Benj.
I'd keep that rant off the show, or I'd just mention it slightly. Allude to it.
Oh, shit me. That's big news. Sorry. Steam
What's
just announced that gambling sites are now against its terms and conditions.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
After
only
the
just
CS:GO
taken it.
controversy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just taken like how long to figure out that that's probably a bad thing.
Oh, they've sort of talked about 2011 was when they added in the features, this, that, and the other. They're now just basically putting a full stop to it. But that's huge, actually.
They're still going to be sued. Steam's still going to be sued. There's
Right,
a class
it's going to
action
be a
against-
few minutes. I'm going to go to the lavatory, so
Okay.
I will be back shortly.
cool. We'll have a better podcast for the next few minutes.
Has he gone to?
Also, Nick, don't forget, that is not the big news.
Big news.
The big news, obviously, of yesterday was Anna Amari. And the new changes for Overwatch. Come on.
Oh, yes, of course. I forgot her surname. Good point.
Yeah.
Yes. Anna. So I'm not so hyped. Anna's a cool character. I quite like the character.
Yeah.
The character's pretty awesome looking, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the Diva changes more than anything. Diva
I'm sorry.
is fucking godlike
hang on.
now.
Here comes Benj.
No,
on.
Anna
Ben,
just
bring it.
feels okay. Anna just feels far too gritty for what Overwatch is.
What?
Have you actually looked at the backstories of any of the characters?
Yeah,
The lore.
yeah. The lore seems too gritty for what Overwatch is right now, which is like a Pixar like.
The whole
What was that?
concept of Overwatch is fighting for a better future. That is the
Yeah.
entire concept of the game.
But nobody knows really who's bad. Even the guy that goes die 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 apparently is a misunderstood hero.
No, he's
supposedly.
evil.
No. People have argued that he is. You know, he might not be as he's fighting secretly against some. I don't know.
No. In the past, there were two
Oh.
versions of Overwatch. There was the light Overwatch and the dark Overwatch. The dark Overwatch were more like mercenaries and hitmen and things
You mean
like
Blackwatch?
Blackwatch, yeah. And Reese was part of Blackwatch, but something happened to him to turn him into Reaper, and we don't know what that is yet.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
Taxes.
It was the explosion at Mercy's lab that also took out Morrison.
Morrison's not dead.
Yes, but he was thought dead for a very long time, which is why he came back as Soldier.
Yes. But we don't know what that did to him. And what,
Okay.
He now seems to be this ever-living being that eats the souls of people.
Out of this reskin of essentially Team Fortress 2, it is literally the weakest Blizzard plot, though, and lore.
Really? Have you played Warcraft 1?
No, but sorry, wait, yes I have, but not in a fucking long time because
Warcraft the movie.
Just go to the cinema and watch the movie, and it.
No, the movie's even worse.
The bombastic movie. I think we have to.
I like
No,
it.
China saved it.
Yeah.
China saved it.
China got it enough funding that it's getting a sequel. But have you seen the Western box office receipts for?
Did it die on the weekend? The American weekend? Did it die?
I'll just get the numbers out because they were frankly shocking.
I went to see it twice. I did my part.
That's good. I saw it once with my boss, who saw it for free because he's got one of those unlimited cards, so he didn't do it.
I have
Okay.
a limited card as well, but it still counts.
Here we.
Oh, okay.
Stop that.
What?
The laser. Okay. Production budget 160 million.
Yep.
The foreign gross 383 million. Domestic US gross 46 million.
Wow.
That's
Americans did not like that film.
that's in over a month.
It's fine.
To be honest, fuck the American market. It's about time. It's about time the rest of the world got,
That's where you make your money, though.
No, China's where you make your money.
China is where they made the money.
Yeah.
Where they've made the money on that one.
I mean, China loves Blizzard. I mean, look at that company that's just ripped off Overwatch to go back to Overwatch, and that's.
I love the fact that they have that rip-off of Overwatch, where like most of the characters are vaguely similar, and then it gets down to the sniper, and it's just Widowmaker.
Yes. It's like we couldn't be bothered. It's the reskin Widowmaker. Oh no, it wasn't. It was purple,
they didn't even reskin it. It was just Widowmaker.
They didn't even change the colour. I would like to hear Tracer in a Chinese voice though, and see if it's just as irritating.
I love the fact that people have found out the punk skins are very sweary.
Oh,
The punk skins are very sweary.
are they?
Yeah.
What can I say?
They've actually called people a wanker and tosser and all this. It's
very British swearing. Not...
Wow. Wow. Cheers, love. The wankers are here.
That's kind of weird.
Sorry, I can do a very high pitched Mockney. So sue me. What?
It turned a falsetto.
What are we talking about tonight? Are we going with my subject?
We're talking about the ETC.
I don't know what to say about it. It was an
We're
event
done
that happened.
We're done with it. That's it. Me and I can leave after this little bit at the beginning because I wasn't.
Well,
I'm just-
Alex does want to talk about the ETC, so we can at least spend some time on it.
he doesn't or does.
Does.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yes.
Has he got a script?
I don't know.
Well, is it going to
Don't
be?
ask me.
It's not. Okay, can we talk about Boris Johnson becoming the foreign secretary?
No.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
No politics at all whatsoever.
But she looks like Palpatine.
There was
Benj, I will kick you.
there was the
Oh.
good moment where May was the Prime Minister, Hammond was lining up, and we were just waiting, just waiting.
No,
Stop.
stop it.
Stop.
No
It's all
Top Gear
done.
jokes either.
Mike's gonna have an aneurysm.
I like talking politics, but this is my escape from politics.
Is it?
Yes!
Oh, okay. I thought it was like into politics then. Kurt's gonna
no.
come and tell us all to shut up anyway. So.
See, I go away and I paint little toy soldiers like this, which is on the table ready to be painted.
You have painted a lot recently. What's wrong with you?
I'm trying to get stuff done. I'm fed up having so much silver on the table.
Uh,
How about blue tack? How do you feel about blue tack on the table?
No.
Sorry.
It means I get to have stuff like this.
It's looks black on your cam. Sorry.
It probably does, because the lighting is sort of all over here, and
Yeah.
if I swing it over, it turns white.
Oh,
and
the random Alex noises have started. His face just
Oh, here we
occasionally
go.
pops up. Pop. Rustle, 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 pop.
no, it's there's also a cryogenic freezer type that occasionally happens, which sounds like he's defrosting a turkey or something.
oh my god!
What?
World's tallest world gamer.
Hey, Curtis here.
Oh no! Now I get told to shut up.
He says hello.
It's your namesake.
Hello.
My
Hello,
father.
Has he got a microphone though?
Apparently not.
He will be
Oh,
communicating.
We had some Alex noises from Kurt.
Shut up.
Hello.
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 You did
Hello.
exactly what we presumed you would do.
What?
Come in and tell us all to shut up.
Yep.
Oh.
Benji was laughing then. That's a bit weird.
Why?
He's all depressed in the end of the world.
Well, I'm not having a bad time with Mark 3 at the moment, so.
That's the
You
funniest
know.
thing you've ever said.
Alright, fine.
Oh, nothing works. Everything's stupid.
I'm not going to a tournament still for a couple of years, months, maybe next month. I don't know.
I'm definitely not going to a tournament in about 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah.
Are you doing a team tournament?
I'm going to the Cadre team tournament. Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh, the OTC. Very nice.
How many Trail Warriors have you got painted?
I've got a full unit. I don't think I'm fielding
More than
it. Huh?
You need more than that
For what?
for trolls. Ragnar and 3 units of Creels, man. That's where it's at.
I don't own Ragnar. I'm not buying 3 more plastic heavy light wall beasts that I'm never going to use. I'm going to wait for them to come out as a standalone figure.
Okay.
Are you sure you don't want another bouncer?
What? Because I've already got 2 and I need more than 2.
But you could start a new albino paint scheme.
Ah!
I haven't finished the old one yet.
Well, the old one or the old one?
No, the old one. The old one was turquoise, and that's I've got very little. I've got very little that's still in turquoise. It's gradually diminishing. I could probably still put 50 points of turquoise on the table, though. Having said that,
Well, it's not 50 points anymore. 75. Go with the times, man.
no,
Oh,
new
God.
50, a new 75 either.
Hmm.
Anyway,
are we-
skeptical.
I'm guessing we haven't started.
Oh, we haven't
Really?
started properly, but we're recording, but we haven't started.
You are live on Channel Trom. Please do not. Nah, go ahead. See if I care.
I literally don't care. I've adopted a new method of editing that is even quicker than the old one, and yeah, don't care anymore.
So
is that
let's
called?
just say esports, and it doesn't get beeped out.
No, don't care.
No, it just deletes the whole podcast.
what it does is it substitutes the sample of Jamie Bell saying "fuck you, Nick" over the top of it whenever you say esports athlete.
Is there Jamie Bell saying "fuck you, Nick"?
Yeah, I'm sure I can find it. Give me a minute. I'm sure I can find it. And I may be meeting him. I may be seeing him next week, hopefully.
Because he's in London right now, isn't he?
He's going to Celebration at the weekend.
He is. I won't be seeing him there, but I'm trying to liaise to hook up with him the following week.
Enjoy that hookup.
Yeah, I will.
We don't need the details.
Nobody at Hyper Japan then.
Okay, lots of toothbrushes and no trousers. What?
No on bench.
No bench. You're alone there.
Fine. All the plushies for me.
Oh, you enjoy those
Nick,
plushies.
there we go. Now you can enjoy all my painting in one.
So I like that Gallant paint scheme. That's quite nice.
Yeah, it's the liquid
Gallant's
talent.
also a fucking monster.
That's good for something you painted, Mike.
Double-edged comments, really. We're going there.
That's really good for you.
To be fair, I do only profess to paint to a tabletop standard. And most
tabletop that's been knocked over.
I thought that was your brother-in-law's speciality.
Well, it is my brother-in-law's speciality. I still have the mental image of the pure blood warp smashing into all its component parts as it hit the floor.
One of my myrmidons looks like it's gone through a menstrual problem. Basically, I've tried to do like blood and damage on the blades, and basically I used a wash that I thought was akin to slightly a lighter Devlin mud, and now it just looks like it's red. Looks like it's got. Matt said it looked like it had gone through the wash with a red sock on it. So a white T-shirt with a red sock, which was annoying.
We need pictures if we're going to fully appraise this bench.
I haven't got pictures right now. I got Pokemon cards, apparently.
If it's not
Where did that
Pokemon
come
Go,
from?
it doesn't count.
I've got Pokemon Go too, and I'm terrible at it. So.
Pokemon Go 2, is that out now, is it?
Yeah, it's Electric Boogaloo. All the Pokemon. Is anyone actually playing it?
No.
No.
Because we're not 12.
Oh, come on. Where's your joyful, I don't know.
Pokemon is something that my children are interested in, not something that I'm interested in.
I have plenty of other stuff to do, bench.
Well, Fire Emblem.
Not at the moment, no, it's mostly been Overwatch.
Okay. You playing an FPS is something I find hilarious.
You played Zarya. It's not really FPS. You right-click and arc things.
Hang on. It's not just Zarya. I play Junkrat as well.
Yeah, so you shoot in arcs. Can't aim, so just shoot in arcs.
Can't
Also,
AoE.
Also Farah.
Spam AoE, yeah.
Spam AoE, yeah. Have you ever seen a head?
You've taken the approach to Overwatch that I've taken to War Machine.
But place all the AoEs and just hope.
Yeah, because I'm not playing my Signar at the moment. I'm playing Convergence and just playing as many ground pounders as humanly possible.
Who's got ground pounder now?
Simulators.
I do like your army of dildos. I do.
God!
Giant silver wangs of doom.
Yeah. It's like they come out of the ground. It's like that's horrifying. But what does it actually do?
I have to attach the.
No one knows.
The spikes.
What's the name of this jack again?
The Assimilator.
The Ding Dollatron.
The Assimilator.
Please, it's Bench. It is the Dongolator.
Oi! What was that? Careful.
It one-rounded a Stormclad.
You're both Hansons.
One-handed a
That does not mean you can confuse my name.
One-handed a Stormclad. Was that between rounds? Or was it actually during the game?
I don't know.
Is that called fisting, though, is it? One-handed.
Open fisting.
Back to Dutron. What?
Back up.
He's got the
Back up.
back strike.
It's all gone wrong.
Here is my army of metallic, wind-up clockwork dildos.
Yeah.
Well,
Welcome to Elite
So-
Cadre.
I'm Alex.
I haven't even been drinking yet, but I may start in a moment.
So, Alex, you want to talk about the ETC?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah.
Well, you
No,
did
but-
last time. You know, when... Oh, wait, no, when you didn't turn up.
Oh no, wait. Let's postpone a week because we can't do it because Alex can't make it because he really wants to talk about the ETC.
Yeah,
Anyway.
kind of.
Ah!
But then
Right.
he can't.
So you want to talk about a bit about the ETC. Nick, you were there as well.
Oh
I
no.
said- I sat in a comfy chair and gave some judgments. That's about it, really.
You were there.
Yes, I attended. Have you sent the points in for that yet?
Ooh,
Do you
no,
get a
I do need
certificate
to do
as a
that.
participant?
I will
It's
do
okay.
that very shortly.
You can't be worse than lock and load.
Da.
Let's
Vetoed.
not go there. Let's not go
We're
there.
not discussing that on air.
Oh.
We can discuss that. There are reasons.
So
there were reasons.
scandalous.
Yes. So we've got that, and what did you say you wanted to discuss something else, Nick?
No, you suggested the topic that I was talking to you about at ETC.
Oh
The
yes,
idea At convention events and
Yes.
change the format.
which could be an interesting thing to go over. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
could be a fun discussion.
I'm excited already.
Dead horse that we're going to flog.
Yeah.
What are we
Dead horse.
flogging?
Dead horses.
Oh yes, there's been some new models that have been
You
previewed.
have, yeah, Getrix and such, yeah.
Oh, Dibby.
Yes.
Black 13th Mark II, slightly taller.
Cricks, Black 13th.
Quick, Black 13th.
Stormsmith Grenadiers. A new Menoth solo.
No, attachment.
No, Ben off UA.
Attachment. Okay.
He's- Alex has to be quoting from memory. His mic doesn't work if he's looking at the internet at the same time.
Harsh.
I'll have you know that that's true.
I know.
Cheers, love.
Guy, can Alex send him a link at all then?
Has anyone got the pictures for those?
I have on my phone. If you give me a minute, I'll get them. I don't think I've got the Menoth one because I can only find it on Instagram and you can't save pictures from Instagram. But I'll see if I
Why
can
are
find
you
it.
using
Screenshots it.
Instagram? Are you
What?
a hipster? Why are you using Instagram?
Because I am the hipster.
Oh, okay.
Just
Just
how- Oh no, he does have one of the beards
he's-
podcast.
Yeah.
He's technology queens, what he is.
Okay.
Oh.
Cutting.
Make of that what you will.
There we go. October new releases. I've got.
So there's the Stormsmith Grenadiers and the Cricks Black 13th. I don't know what they're called.
Have you got Tibbers as well? The
Oh,
new
wow.
Tibbers.
Where did you link those?
Reddit's broken.
You
Oh,
broke
okay.
red.
There we go.
It's not usually a problem if you break Reddit. It's probably a good thing.
It's designed for that way thing, isn't it? It's designed to
Right,
work.
so that's four of them in the sidebar.
Sidebar.
Yes, if you click on the
Girl, I want
the
to
chat-
take it to a sidebar.
Sidebar!
I want to take it to a sidebar.
Okay, so that's got the
To a sidebar.
the
Good
Menoth
work,
one,
Alex.
Tibbers,
Full
the Grenadiers,
Wah!
and the Statixis.
Let's start a war.
I thought my nuclear war.
At the sidebar.
It's just getting worse.
Welcome to Elite Cadre.
Oh, you wonder why we've not got many listeners. Oh.
Do I work in a mental health trust or am I a patient? Who can tell?
I'm going to write scripts then for us. How will that do? Will we get any viewers then? If we're script-
If you go to the first
Welcome to
episode, you
Elite
can
Cadre.
hear Kurt reading off a script.
That
Oh
was
my
amazing.
God.
That was amazing.
I don't want
I don't
to.
remember that.
The days where we used to be like.
I don't remember that.
I don't think it was episode 1. I think it was episode
No.
2. And
Was
I
it
think
after-
one came up with the plan that we should all kind of give an introduction about ourselves and stuff, and we all wrote one out.
It was shit, wasn't
It
it?
might have been episode 1. But
Episode 1, looking back on it now, is bad.
all
Did you
of the
all wear
episodes are
shirts
bad.
and ties?
Because
Can we
it's
have a
got-
reboot?
Because it's got better now.
Have a reboot
Yeah, I was going to
episode.
say they're all really bad.
They're all really bad.
Even
We
now.
pride ourselves.
Yeah.
It's got worse since Benji's come on, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's literally
absolutely.
awful.
Although it did get better for a while when Nick left.
Sorry, here to ruin it for you now.
Harsh.
Well, Nick is, I know.
We hate that you're in it for it as well.
I can't tell if he's eating or typing.
Both. Eating the keyboard.
Nice.
I'm putting a few bits in some baggies.
Drugs, literally on air.
Drugs. What the fuck is
Just
that?
a
I don't
massive,
actually know.
weighing.
There we go. So I've
We
we
started
having
the
a
game
nostalgia
hour.
I'm really
episode?
glad I rushed on here for us to start the podcast.
Is this a flashback episode then? If we're talking about all the stuff, we could.
What's that a quote from?
What?
That's a quote from the School of Benj.
Is it?
actually for all the new releases. Well, for most of the new releases, you can go there.
What, the press website?
No, not quite. It is an APP website, I think. I'm not sure. Actually, no. Sorry. It isn't.
Are they still on schedule this year?
Redirecting you to War Machine release.
What's this we're looking at?
I quite like the. I have now a concise mini rulebook for Hordes Mark III. It's quite nice.
It's wrong, but it exists.
I need my glasses. Why is it wrong?
The rules for charging preclude you charging knockdown models.
That's
right.
as
You don't like it anymore.
intended. That's intended.
Yeah, players intended.
I would like to take a fluffy way to explain why you can't beat people up with gang on the floor.
Because the rules say so. That's it.
Where's
End
the
of this-
What about Aurora? The Aurora problem. That's just
the whole
hilarious.
thing where she makes the jack station and therefore can't get gang on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit this with a boosted. Oh, I hit it.
Can you
No,
play them in
it's-
Scorn now as well? Can you?
No, okay. If you want the real rules ridiculousness, it is the whole thing of I'm behind a forest, I'm invisible. For the front portion of my base is in a forest, I'm completely visible. My whole base is in the forest. Now I get +2 def. It's the whole fact that moving into the forest makes you temporarily more visible.
I did.
Have they still not got the 3-inch line of sight rule then?
No,
Oh, dear.
no. There is the 3-inch blocks line of sight rule, but okay. Let's say you've got a 2-inch thick forest.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're completely invisible behind it.
Yeah,
but,
one one's
yeah,
on one side, one is on the other. The first one moves in. If it only moves partially in, despite there being no line of sight that's not through the forest, it doesn't get concealment, and it annoys me. And people
Why?
said,
Hang on. Why isn't it? I was all ready with a joke, and then I actually realised I better listen. What?
You have to be completely within to get concealment now.
Yeah.
Right, I thought that was the case.
That's just a general rule of everything. Almost everything is now completely within. If I just control F and be within to completely within.
Robot Boy, do you want to...
Really easy if you say really clearly. I know it.
My name is Bastian.
I don't know what's happening to Nick. He appears to have...
Become Nick. That's what Nick always sounds like. That's what
Really?
Nick always sounds like. Yeah, in person as well. I found.
Okay, so the new releases I've got are the Black 13th, the Inflictor, the Carrion
Inflictor.
Thralls, Getorix, I can't remember,
Get to mix the
can't
druid.
remember the name of the mouth one. What's she called?
Dave. Dave Manoff.
My wife now.
The Knights Exemplar Officer.
Does she?
Tiberian. The Stormsmith Grenadiers
Stormsmith Grenadiers.
and the Statixis Gun Majors.
Is that a real thing? I thought Alex was making that up. I thought I'd been trolled.
No.
No, there's a 3-man unit of Statixis Gun Majors.
Quicks
Black
Black
13th
13.
Quicks. Okay.
No, they're not Black 13th because they're not characters.
Shut up.
Both Cricks
I think it still
and
works, Alex. It's all good.
both Cricks and Mercenaries have got 3-man gun mage units now. Because Mercenaries have the Thorn Mages.
That will also work for Protectorate.
Yes, because they have fire guns.
Fire.
Yeah. If you hit with one, okay, it's 3 models for 9 points. They've got 2 shots each. and one of the options for the shots is continuous fire.
But if one of them walks into a bar, then what happens?
Oh dear. I can't. What are the quick swarms? Is it Black Penny and?
They auto hit and then they auto kill giant things. Probably.
Nice. Some classy rules there.
Oh, what that noise?
If it's trolls, quick stack trolls dead.
I'm just gonna get my iPad.
It's like another one of the revert to Mark 1 type rules. Clang, drop mic. Excellent, good work. Mic, drop mic.
Mic drop mic.
Apparently so. Bing.
This is your captain calling.
This
Please
is the
make sure
captain
you're,
of your ship calling.
Just no.
Hello again.
No.
Don't you remember that Muller advert?
Yes.
It was
But
bloody
no.
awful.
So you tried to remind the world of that, why?
I'm awful.
Fair play.
That is
That-
true.
that is true.
That is true.
That's true. Literally terrible.
Point well taken, sir.
Thank you. Knowing one's limits and all.
So is Nick just disconnected forever, or
We hope
Hopefully.
so. Hey!
Synchronicity.
Consensus reached. We agree.
really? Really?
The world can end now.
We've reached peak elite cadre.
Peekily Cadre, we hate Nick. He's gone. We're happy. Let's all drink.
Ah, there we go. Statixis
Picolado.
Gunslingers. So Kurt, it's 7 points for 3 models.
Right.
Rat 6 with 2 mage locks each,
Right.
and they've got Black Penny,
They shoot
Feedback,
melee. Yeah.
and Blood Mist. So if they box a living or undead model, center of 3-inch
And
AoE.
they obviously have to choose between those abilities. They can't use all those every turn for every shot, can they?
Yep, they choose between them.
Okay, I was joking. I thought they should get all of them. Because
Nope.
Because cricks.
It's quick. Oh wow. Okay. 7 points for 3 models.
Yep.
5 wounds.
No.
No.
Not
That's
anymore.
That's
They were
not
doing
how.
Mark II.
Yeah, they took those away from the
What
Oh,
happened? What's happened to the
dwarf.
sluggers? Troll sluggers? They're the cost of multi-wound infantry, but they've only got 1 wound each.
Mark III, mate. Welcome to the new world.
You're starting to sound a bit like me there, Kurt. You know, with all
Well, I'm
the-
just not going to play them. It's fine. I didn't. I wasn't exactly married to them in the first place, but it's like what?
You didn't play them in Mark II, so
They barely got off the shelf. They got half painted and left there. I'm like, oh, they'll go with Gumbion. Oh, the crap.
Gumbion's not crap though.
No. I haven't played him yet, though, but no. I think I've sold my Gumbion,
No.
unfortunately. I need a new Gumbion.
here we go, Kurt. So we've got Laylee's gun mages for you now.
Yeah.
Rat 7,
Yeah.
9 points for 3 of them.
Okay.
They've got a Roth 2 gun, which is another mage lock, so range 2.
But how can they fire that? Because they need focus to fire both weapons. Both
Yeah,
weapons.
damn right. Yeah, good point.
Not anymore. They've got
What
Black
profession
Penny,
is this you talk of?
Continuous Fire, Thunderbolt, and both barrels.
Give them
So
both
how do
bloody
you have both
barrels. son.
barrels?
So they can have 3 power 14 shots a turn.
Wow.
Oh, and they've got Prowl as well.
Arc hitboxes?
No.
Oh, what?
That's quite nice.
Is your army your way though? My army in my way has 5 wounds.
My way, or the highway?
And with bacon as well, extra bacon. Onion rings.
Let's have a look.
Jalapenos.
Hang on, sluggers aren't that bad.
The points, though. Look at the points. I
Okay.
agree they're not bad. Look at the points.
Hang on. 8 points for 3. That's actually cheaper than the mercenary gun mages.
Seems like a lot of points.
Yeah.
I'm not used to new points.
Sure.
It's only 1 point more than the Statixis gun mages,
Seems like a lot of points for crap.
and you've got D3 power 13 shots. Admittedly, because of the blank back of the card, they do look like they're in need of a rule.
Or UA.
Yeah.
Or some wounds.
I don't think wounds would solve it. Because they're trying to take those away from things.
Make me feel better.
Although I have noticed in the games I've had so far, the infantry kill is not quite as high as I thought it would be.
No?
No. I thought it would be a lot quicker to shoot.
This sounds awfully like conversation we could be having on
But
the episode.
Nick's not here, so we can't move on.
Why
What
not?
We can
Am I less like Bastion now?
Oh, you're here. Okay.
Well, I've been here the whole time. I just was Bastionified.
You just muted.
I was
Right.
booped.
Fair enough. So we can discuss the new releases. We can discuss the ETC.
I can't be bothered.
No.
I'm
I
gonna.
heard it was
That's
shit.
not even funny.
Does anyone know his address?
Alex, yeah? Got somewhere.
Pipe bomb inbound.
No,
No.
me inbound.
Me inbound.
That's that's
You're
formidable.
safe,
I
Alex.
wouldn't-
It'll take 3 weeks. You can move by then.
I can fill the tank up and I can be there in 4 or 5 hours.
What's the range on the on the gun on the tank?
17 inches.
2 fish
Anyway.
in the tank.
We could talk about we can talk about double elimination as a potential for.
No.
Yes, we can. If you don't want to join in with the discussion, that's fine.
That sounds like a segue into not 9 o'clock news. I might be the only one old enough to know what that is, but
I know what not the night quite news is.
it definitely sounds
Yeah.
like a reference to that. Yeah.
It's not the 9 o'clock news is what reinvented the term for a collective group of orangutans, was it?
I think so. Can't remember.
Now in proper scientific papers they have had the flange. No, it's a flange of baboons.
A flange of baboons. That sounds right.
Yeah, that's been used in a proper scientific paper and is now an actual thing.
Nice.
Right, so what cast do we want to do for spelling it out?
12.
I agree.
We have a completely clean slate. I have redone the spreadsheets.
Oh, because I'm Mark 3 and therefore everything's completely different.
Yes, it
Except the
is.
stuff that's the
Shut
same.
up.
Except the stuff that's the same.
I think we should totally do Haley 3.
There we go. We have a volunteer. We're doing Haley 3.
No, she's
I've not
exactly the
got
same.
more room yet, though.
What?
Let's not do Haley 3.
He comes back for 10 minutes and suddenly we're doing Signar. I thought we didn't do Signar at all.
Given that there are 4 people who play Signar on this podcast.
How'd you get 4?
Me, you, Nick, and Benj.
Oh, he's accusing me of playing Signar. I'm feeling all ill now.
It's the storm wall on your shelf that gives it away.
Shit!
No, he never actually played Signar. There was some granola and some models. I don't think he ever actually played.
In fact, I have never actually fielded a storm wall. I just own one with a lot of granola.
Have you played Signar? Have you played with Signar, though?
Whatever.
Yes.
In Mark what? Mark 1 or 2 or 3? What?
Ever.
Ever? Yeah.
You're just
Anyway.
a human being.
So, what cast of people played repeatedly in the new version?
None.
Okay.
Do you want to know what my number 1 played caster is, Mike? Do you
Clara
really
Sloan.
want to know? Yes, it is.
Actually, she's
I'm
been
going off
controversial.
this whole version altogether. Range popping of going, oh, if you get in range, you can make
She's been
everything.
controversial, so we're doing Cara Sloan.
Would someone
anyone
mind
actually
screen
play
printing
it?
her cards and putting them in the group chat so I can see?
There's only 2 things you need to know, Alex.
We've got War
Rapid
Room.
Fire and Fire Group. Meh.
Well, we'll be going through the cards one by one, or rather, Nick will.
We'll be laughing at him.
Yes.
Good.
And yeah, that's really it. Also, being as the painting table's kind of expanded out to something different and more hobby related, I'm going to rename it to Any Other Business.
Cool, so I can talk about Nerf guns.
No!
I can
Because
talk about Nerf guns.
sure, why not?
I'm not doing any. I'm painting trolls right now.
No.
But, you know.
Don't sigh, Alex.
That's because he hasn't done any business. That's
Yeah.
why he's sighing. Doesn't sound like we're doing any business.
Right. Let's go.
I'm Alex.
Hello and welcome to Elite Cadre, the War Machine Hordes
I'm
podcast
Alex.
that doesn't take itself too seriously. I'm Mike.
I'm Alex.
I'm Kurt.
I'm Nick.
I'm Benj.
Oh, he's here again. Who let him
Alright.
in?
in.
Alright.
Well, we seem to have expanded from like a 3-person podcast to a 5-person podcast in the space of a couple of weeks.
5's too many. Vote out who. No, hang on, we're not doing that. I hate
No,
voting. I hate
no,
those sort of podcasts.
no,
Over Alex.
no referenda. Oh, God.
Vote leave on.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Okay.
Good
So
start.
what just happened?
Benji
Everything
dropped
happened all at once. Anyway, I think we should start with some news.
Woo!
Starting is always good. I agree with the starting bit.
Yeah. Well, we eventually started. I mean, might as well carry on.
It's
The
only been
news
3
is
hours.
a really grim place right now. Can we do something else?
Okay. So the first of the new things. Yes, quite. Shut up. Is
Shop. Moving on.
Granville.
You went a bit far there.
Yeah. Is the Knights Exemplar Officer. I believe. Yes.
Has that been previewed as a model? Is that on preview somewhere?
It would be the one that I posted in the chat, not like 5
I
minutes.
wasn't
3D
listening to
digital
you.
sculpt, isn't it?
It is a digital sculpt. It actually looks fairly nice.
Looks like an exemplar officer.
Yeah. It's rather pricey, the actual model on the table.
Doesn't it sound a bit like a giant Scorn war beast? Anyway, moving on. The name of it.
No?
Oh.
I don't know what you're getting at, and quite frankly, I'm confused, and I'm just going to move on.
I think it's the fact that I read Tiberian is the same thing as part of as the same line of text. Moving on.
Fair enough. So yes, it's a very nice digital sculpt. First of all, it's a Knight Exemplar without the helmet, which is interesting.
A new one.
Yeah,
He's still got his helmet. He's just holding it.
I think it's a she, isn't it?
I was going to say, do you want to reassess that?
Good point. She. Sorry.
Yeah. There
I
we
didn't
go.
load the model up. Now I've loaded it up. I forgot it's a she.
Yeah.
She is an amazing badass.
God, you're so sexist. Bigoted.
I don't remember. I thought most of the Knight Templar models were male. I don't know.
They are. Well, they're
I
either
thought you-
male or you can't tell the gender because they've got a helmet on.
And they're wearing armour.
Well, quite.
Proper armor, not boob armor.
True.
To be fair, there is quite a lot of that going around in PP's stuff, so it's how you can tell which ones are the precursors of female as well. Which I didn't realise until I started painting. It's like, oh, some of these are women. Okay.
They're slightly more nimble. Their armor's slightly less chunked out.
Yes. But
At least they're not just wearing a bra and knickers made of
well, yes, quite.
Barbarians.
They're not quite a demonette, should we say?
No.
So, yeah,
Ew.
nice sculpt, big billowy cloak, very unique kind of look for a Knights Exemplar. Kurt, you're
Except it looks like
resident.
Paladin.
A little bit, I suppose.
You could have done with her in Mark II. She would have made exemplars like bonkers.
She does make exemplars bonkers.
She does now, yeah, as well, but still.
I think granted cleave on a unit of weapon masters is pretty good,
Ooh,
Yeah.
A little bit.
That's nice.
as well as tactics overtake.
Oh,
Yep, that's pretty nifty.
I like some of that.
So for those who aren't in the know, I'm not saying that I'm not, but if there is anyone, what exactly does cleave and overtake do?
So cleave.
I know what it is, but why don't you tell me so that I can confirm that you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
God, that's like a really bad secondary school teacher.
Cleave, when you destroy a model with the attack, you can make an additional melee attack. And
Yeah,
you do that
that's
once
good.
per
That's
session.
what I thought it was.
Yeah. Overtake, when you destroy one or more enemy models with a combat action, you get to make a 1-inch advance.
Brilliant. Good. I'm glad you knew that.
Yeah. And in general, that will mean that they'll get to either move or charge in, make an attack. If they kill something, make an advance. They can advance an inch,
Advantage.
Advance your hearties.
advance an inch, and then take another attack.
Beware the
And,
advantage of men off.
Exemplars are reach 1, is that correct? Range 1 on the melee weapons?
No,
Yes,
they're-
they
Or is it 2?
are they? I thought
Yep.
they were 2.
Well, she's definitely 1 inch. So let's have a look.
That's weird. The relic blades are always 2. Oh well, there we go.
No, they weren't.
Oh, weren't they? Oh,
They-
no.
No, they weren't. No, they
They-
weren't.
No, they were
They used to be half
0.5.
inch.
Yeah.
I'm actually having trouble finding. There we go. Knight's Exemplar. Yep, 1 inch.
Nice.
I thought they were.
The base unit is 9 points with battle driven, which is pretty good. But giving
Is that
them
the
an
one
extra.
where if they take damage they get better?
No, it's going to get Pathfinder with a charge.
Well, hang on. It's when one or more models in this unit are damaged by an enemy attack.
Oh.
After the attack is resolved, models in this unit gain +2 strength, +2 arm, and Pathfinder for a
That's
round.
all of the above. Good.
Yeah. Which makes them PNS 13 weapon masters that are armor 17.
That is what I said, makes them better.
That's simpler than how many died? 3 have died. That means +3,
Yeah.
+4 now because he's
Yeah.
died as well.
It's
Yeah,
it's
but-
nicely simplified. So all in all, I think quite a nice model, good set of rules. Maybe a little bit expensive because it's over half the cost of the unit again for one extra
4
model.
points is she?
5.
5, oh right, really.
Yeah,
Wow.
the
Well
unit-
over half a point.
The
She's
unit as
got a
a
lot
whole
of
is 9.
toolbox. So.
She adds a lot to the unit. She does make it a 14-point unit. There's no question.
Oh, they're
about it.
9, so I thought you said there were 7, sorry.
No, they're 9.
No, that'd be bonkers for 7. Jeez.
Anyone else got anything to say about the officer?
Love the model. Looks awesome.
Yeah, really nice.
Is that Krios' girlfriend now? Is that what I'm saying?
I think
Cr-
it's kind of
Are
a lot of
intercessors
what they're
allowed
doing is a
girlfriends?
bit chunky though. I think it's
I don't
all
think
looking
so.
a bit kind of.
This is
more
gonna.
limited.
It's definitely gonna help that unit be more survivable, especially since you don't end up with a super solo at the end anymore, who's gained so much strength and armor from the rest of his buddies dying.
But you then fire a sniper at him.
Yeah, it is actually really viable regardless of the points. It's a really good scrappy unit now. That under a feat like Krios 2 is going to be really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, with the advance and then an extra attack. Nice.
Yeah, they're just going to slaughter stuff.
Okay. So the next model.
Have you seen my war beast, Tibbers?
Yes, quite. The next one that's on my list is Tiberian. Yes.
No.
Maybe.
Command and Conquer references, really. Yes. So Tiberian is part of the whole quest that PP seems to be having to take
Redo
away.
Apotheosis.
Well, take away the add-on kits.
Mm.
Because originally they came up with this line of add-on kits that went on some rather mixed plastic jacks.
Rock.
Yeah.
War beasts. And they're now getting some rather individual sculpts in that are actually making them. I mean, this looks much more dynamic than that original Tiberian sculpt.
Yeah.
Because the original one, you could do a sort of a bit of a lunge forward with it, but there wasn't
Lunge.
much else.
I mean, all the Titans are on that chassis are obviously look very similar. I think it's kind of one of the ones that is more difficult to discern which one is which between the Cannoneer and the Gladiator.
I mean, Tibbers was
and
always
centric.
Tibbers was always fairly obvious because he'd got the large sort of club and
Yeah.
the shield. So
But again,
that-
I mean, he's very similar to the Sentry. Obviously, he's a character
Yeah.
Sentry.
Yeah.
But very similar to the Sentry.
You could play
Whereas
if you look
something
different.
like. Yeah, I mean, Getrick, so for example, was very different because he had the big axe and, was a very much a different silhouette than the other ones. But I think it kind of comes back to something we've said before about silhouettes. You need to have that unique silhouette to make it easily identifiable.
one interesting change here is that they are changing Tibbers' silhouette.
Yeah.
His armor has changed quite a bit. it's lost the back banner and gained.
He's got 2 back banners.
Well, they're not banners.
His armor has completely shifted.
Yeah. He's. I mean, some people have said he's more like a bronze back now than he was before.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and that's an interesting shift in that they've gone back to something and said, actually, we need to change the design on this and get it to do something else. And I've got to say, it looks a lot better.
I'd agree. And that's more dynamic, much more.
Absolutely. Well, you're a Resident X scorn, Alex. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to say, I think it's a nice shift. It makes it a lot more easily identifiable as what it should be on the table. Yeah, I think all the new improved character checks and beasts are all looking really good.
Cool. One day they might even get round to having a decent chassis for Ross and Ante.
I'm quite looking forward to seeing how, well, if they do, and I assume when they do, a new Death Jack. I think that could be quite interesting.
It's going to be the last one. They're going to go through everything else first.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, I've always liked the concept of Death Jack, even from when he was kind of in the Monsternomicon as a D&D monster, effectively.
The whole thing about this sort of wandering lost warjack that kind of gets tempted to places to join
Eat
temporarily.
souls.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Even if it did look like he got 2 gramophones strapped to his back.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Grammar time. Whoa.
No.
Okay.
What?
Just no, Benj. No.
All right.
Get out.
So the next thing we have is the Stormsmith Grenadiers?
Yep.
They look
lightning, lots of hair.
yeah, hair standing on end.
They look like Stormsmiths, only they have ice cream cones and they don't want to eat them, they want to throw them at you.
That's basically it.
They're also holding clocks for some reason. I'm not quite sure what they've got.
Steampunk,
Public Enemy.
And-
Public Enemy.
Steampunk, innit?
Public Enemy. No.
What has the clock got to do with the ice cream cone?
Steampunk, innit?
It's lightning time.
Not
Can't touch this.
Why are we throwing lightning grenades? Why?
Can't touch this.
Okay.
To be fair,
I
they
love the fact that they've got swords as well.
no, they're knives.
They've got swords that they'll have no rules for.
No, they have them. They're trench
Oh.
knives. They're a 0.5-inch melee range, POW 3, PNS 7.
Wow.
Yep.
Mat 5.
Yep.
Hardcore. Bring down Death Jack in no time.
That's it. That's it. I think if you're trying to bring down Death Jack with those knives, though, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
It's cards on the table. You're doing it wrong.
You're almost better off if one of them is in melee, just bombing it with the others, because they're immune to their own bombs.
Wow.
So they've actually got a nice little collection of stuff. It's another one of these new sort of 3-man units that's going around.
5 wounds?
No.
No wounds.
Nice.
No wounds. So they're automatically
No
dead
wounds.
as soon as you put them on the table?
Yep.
Wow. It's an
Wow.
interesting strategy.
7 points for 3. They've got a range 6, POW 13, AoE 3 gun each, which can have one of 3 attack types. One of which is -2 speed, which...
Black oil? Can they black oil?
No.
No. They're lightning grenadiers.
And they can rust, though, can't they?
No.
They've got
Lightning
assault, haven't they?
grenades rust.
Still
Got
no.
assault.
No assault. Stormclouds have got
That's what
assault
I agree with rust. How could they not have rust?
because lightning doesn't make things rust.
So,
I bet you'd rust if you got hit by lightning.
Pretty sure I wouldn't.
You'd rust your trousers.
I think science says we need to try it.
Nick, what do you think of the sculpts?
The sculpts are pretty nice, but I can't see them hitting the table So I'm going to buy them and put them on my nice spinny plasma orb because they will look pretty up there.
Fair enough.
They
You're going to
can
stick
be
them
replaced
there
with
in the
Storm
blister.
Smith on top of the Storm Strider because it has more chance of going on the table.
God. Okay.
Oh,
Fair enough.
yeah, you
Well-
could just fill the gantry on the Storm Strider
With
with
different
all
storms.
the Stormsmiths.
We can have
Every
a
single
Striker
Storm
1, a Striker 2, a Striker 3, a Lady Striker.
We should probably move on from these models then, I feel.
They are really nice pre-models, I've got to say that, but they're more Storms, and we've got lots of Storms.
Fair enough. Okay, well, the next one up would be the Statixis Gunslingers.
These are prettier models. How can I restart my cricks?
You can if you want to spend those points, stroke money, whatever. But,
4 points.
yeah.
They do look good.
Do look
Yeah.
pretty cool.
They look like Statixis. They have guns. There's not really much more to it.
And they quack like ducks, apparently, yeah. Look like a duck.
What?
Yes,
Not
quite.
Duck Goose.
No, they're pretty fitting for what they're meant to be. They look piratical.
Left-hand one looks like Loki.
I see where you're going.
They
with that.
they do have the right horns for Loki. I'll agree with
Well, the
that
left
one.
one definitely does. Loki with two
Yeah.
pistols and boobs, obviously.
I
Female
was going to say that
Loki
the left-hand
is
one has more of a
slaying.
vibe of a fortune teller than the other two. The other,
Yeah.
What with the beads around?
yeah.
the head.
I like them.
Did you
They're
know that
awesome.
most Statixis are made up on the spot?
They've all got very unique personalities that you can see in the models, which is pretty cool.
Have they all got great rack special rule?
No, but they have horns, which are crit
That's what I
knockdown.
meant. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, but Great Rack is only on Scar.
Sure,
Only
it's
Scott
not
has a great rack.
Yeah.
So when you say you can see they've got different personalities, is it a bit like a girl band? Have you got like one that's like
40 Spice.
Well, like, the
Sporty
one on the
one,
left
and
looks
one-
like she's trying to be all graceful and elegant, and the one in the middle looks like she's being all fierce and aggressive, and the one on the right looks like she's all cocky and.
They
Yeah.
all look like.
I thought you were going to find the one on the right is Tracer.
Cheers, love!
No!
They all look like the Easter Egg and Asda.
They do need to go get some t-shirts.
A common look. After.
I was thinking of the whole girl band where they should be, I think.
Yeah.
to be car, perhaps.
Pushing trolleys.
It's the new Girls Aloud. Anyway, yes, they're good sculpts. It's an interesting unit, especially for Cricks. Giving them a proper range unit seems weird.
The dog agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dog definitely fucking agrees.
It's the age of the year of gun mages. Was that what PP promised us?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But we still haven't got Kane 3.
No, you're not going to. He's going to be a merc.
I'll play Mercs if I can carry on playing Kane. It's fine.
Would it be a merc with a mouth?
Yeah, it might be.
That's Kevin Ryan. God.
No, you might want to reanalyse that one.
Yeah, I think so. It's not Kev Bryant. It really isn't.
Okay. Well, speaking of the year of gun mages, one of the most anticipated resculpts, just at the point where most Signal players have gone, no, I don't want these anymore. It's a resculpt of the Black 13.
But I already have 3. I don't need more.
You got 3 in?
I've got 3 units of the Black 13.
I've got
This is the
2.
unit I never get rid of when I change from Signar to come back, to then change from Signar and come back again. And I'm just used to the old models now. Like, make them bigger. I'm not going to be able to tell where they are. Though I will, because they're going to be the only gun mages maybe touching the table.
You can
Yeah,
retire
come on.
them.
The normal gun mages are okay. They're just not in the place they were. Let's
They
face
took
it.
Deadeye off Haley too. Gun mages are dead.
To be fair, taking True Sight off them hurt them as well. But let's not go there.
You can
And-
retire the Black 13th, the old models, to like Hornby Railway sets now.
Could I use them? Could I use Ryan just instead of Gun Mage Captain Adept? Does that work?
No.
Various
Give a
Ryan.
big hat.
I prefer you didn't.
Brian a big hat.
But no, I think these new sculpts are nicer. They're a little chunkier. You know, in
Much
keeping
better.
with the new PP aesthetic. It's easy to pick out which one's which. they look like gun mages. I'm not sure what more you want. It's
These ones have been 3D rendered by, was it Javier Urena from Spain, who did the Haley 3 unit as well.
okay.
So, and he also
David
did
Uretha.
something like that. And Zal as well. He does a lot of Infinity work. His 3D sculpting's really good.
I was gonna say I've not got the 3D renders, but I do have
Here.
the fully painted ones.
Here you go. Of the 3D renders in the.
Are you putting them in the side? But
I put them in the side. I put the side.
Oh no! Don't.
Go! I want to take you to a sidebar.
You're to the sidebar.
Oh.
I'm thrusting my genitals at the sidebar. Sidebar.
They do have a lot more personality than the tiny little baby Black 13s do.
Yeah.
I've got to say, at that size, at the size they are on this website, that they are very nicely done.
They are very nicely done.
But I mean, they've changed so the Ryan sculpt is still the same. Not the sculpt's still the same. The Ryan pose is still the same, but they've completely changed it for Lynch.
Yeah.
Oh, damn Lynch.
No, she's changed. Ryan's changed. One of the guns is in the air. She had both guns pointed forward.
Oh, of course she did. Yeah, she had them. I'm thinking
Great
of
moves, yeah.
what's the mercenary gun mage last?
Taran de la Reversa.
Taran. Yeah, I'm thinking of Taran. Taran has the up and across pose. Yeah, cool. Just take Taran and Ryan, and no one will know which one to shoot if you paint them in the same paint scheme.
Yeah, but Taran
Making
is
gun
not a
mages
great model.
good by misdirecting your opponent.
Taran needs a resculpt
Yeah, she does.
badly.
I was gonna say, she seems fine to me, but I've not painted that model yet. So
She's all hood in the head. You can't
She
like.
is. I think she's one of the original IK RPG miniatures.
Yeah, she was.
yeah,
she
along
was like
with
an RPG character that made it across to War Machine.
With Rutger Schauer.
Rutger, yeah.
And Bradigus as well. Bradigus was an IK
Bradigus
RPG
was?
sculpt.
It looks cooler. at the
completely
moment.
different sculpt, but yes, Bradigus was around.
Wow.
Oh, shh.
Today I learned.
Okay, let's move on from the gun mages. We next up have the Crix Inflictor.
Yeah.
It
That
actually
exists.
Yeah, it
It's
exists.
actually coming out.
It's a model.
Yeah, I've got to say I'm not fond of this sculpt. It looks a bit all over the place.
Yeah, I don't like the harpoony one anyway. That's in Crix with the gangly arm.
Reaper.
Yeah, that one. And its mum. They look
Nice mum.
they just I really don't like Crix Jacks. Their aesthetic looks weird. The old Seether looks like an alien with like tanked up arms and stuff. It's weird. Yeah, fuck off Crix. Right.
Well, I don't agree with the weird, but I agree with the fuck up critics.
No, that's it.
It's
Then
got a snake for one arm and a weird shield on the other arm, and its body looks far too big.
that's like me.
The one comment I'd have looking at it is what's going on with the head.
It's kind of tilted slightly to.
I can't see any part of what the head's meant to be. I can see some two metal tusks out the side, and the rest is just kind of a mess.
There's a spike in the middle as well, but I don't know if
Yeah.
the angle's just quite bad on that picture.
PP are very fond of taking bad photographs of their miniatures, as we all know.
And do more with them. Sounds like half a sentence.
But yeah, I'm not particularly fond of the Inflictor's model, if I'm honest. But you know, if you like your Crick stuff, you might like it. Your mileage may vary. So,
And why are you listening to this podcast?
And that's
Yes.
the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
I don't think you did.
All right, Alex.
Didn't
Okay, should we move on from the Inflictor?
Yeah.
We next have more Cricks.
The Carrions. Didn't we see the Carrions ages ago?
I think we saw a render of them ages ago, but we've not seen the models.
I've not seen the models. The little ravens on their
Yes.
flight bases. Because PP needed more flight bases. Just to put blue tack on the table because you haven't painted them yet.
Well, for years and years, they didn't do flight bases at all.
That's true.
And then they went, nah,
Time.
we're going to have...
Convergence appeared.
It's the fact that one of them attaches... Oh, sorry, more than one, in fact, attaches to the flight base through a skull. that's set at the top of the flight base. Oh,
Wow, they're becoming Games Workshop.
yeah. Oh no,
Wait. There's a connection between Skulls and Games Workshop.
I think we know what story's going on there.
What's that?
Alex, get with me on this. Apparently, there's a connection between Skulls and Games Workshop.
There's a connection between what?
Skulls. Them having skulls on their models and bases.
yeah.
Is that true? I haven't missed that one.
Yeah, no, it's not very obvious, is it?
No, they hide it well.
Yeah.
Lovely.
What do you think?
Thanks.
Sorry, I thought it was muted still. Sorry.
You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
Yes, you are an idiot.
Yeah, but you're my favourite kind of idiot.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's
Yeah.
alright.
Or what makes you look clever.
Anyway,
No.
the models for these are fine.
They're fine.
As
They're
far as they're going,
acceptable.
they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine for what they are. I'm not sure the unit's going to see a lot of play.
But birds. You can put birds on the table.
Cuckold.
10 points for a full unit, a point a model.
The Gryffindor?
I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
Because
Cuckold.
we're clearly infused about this.
Not really.
We don't have a Cricks player at all, do we?
I picked up some cricks.
You might have picked up some Cricks, but you hate the game, so you don't count.
I don't hate the game. I don't hate the game at all.
Why would you pick up cricks? So...
Why would you pick up sticks?
Anyway, the last one of our previews that we have is the new model for Getorix.
Yay!
Marked
Probably something a while
improvement.
ago too.
He doesn't look like a druid though. I don't understand.
So is this PP returning to the epic bases? I mean, look at that. Look at that
No,
base.
He's
It's just
standing
making
on a
it
rock.
better. It's just
The
making.
power's big as Madrax Rock.
I've got to say, in contrast to your bench, I really don't like this sculpt.
Really?
I think the bit that I find distracting is that you can kind of see a face in his neck, and it's a bit weird.
There is a little bit of that, yeah.
What I don't like
the
is
wet dog
the-
hair underneath the chin.
Yeah.
What I don't like is the fact that the Getorix has become the feral warp wolf conversion thing. I never really liked that model. It was far too. It just didn't really fit the
He's
artistic
a
style.
character stalker, isn't he? Really? That's right, isn't it?
He's in between a stalker and a feral.
Right.
Or is it a stalker and a pureblood? Because he uses parts from two different models on the kit. Essentially, because you've got the feral that's got its arms in one position, and the stalker that's got something else, and it uses
The tail from the pure blood or whatever. Yeah.
There's one
yeah.
tail for all three kits.
Yeah.
Shut up.
To be
You
to be
don't play
honest-
circle.
To be honest, I really don't like any of the extreme sculpts. So.
Oh, the extreme rat is terrible.
Yeah. It's bloody
No.
horrible.
I really don't like the extreme. But
I've got one of those. It's still in the box. And Alex tried to have it off me for free for a long time, and it's still sat in the box.
For free?
Yeah, he didn't want to pay me for it.
Well, you got it for free, didn't you?
I did get it for free. I won it somewhere here.
wasn't he at some point trying to bribe you with cider?
A bottle, though. Let's be fair.
How big was it? White lightning.
6 litres of white lightning.
Oh, I see. 5 litres
Sold.
of wine, a gallon.
The man over there.
But Kurt would have to come to the local park to come and collect it.
It's hidden behind that wall there. You can't look when you pick it up.
Anyway, I've got to say I prefer the old Getorix. I don't like this for the same reason as, and this is a controversial opinion, I know. I don't like this for the same reason I don't like the old. Which one was it that had the Howl at the Moon pose? Pure Blood.
The old pure blood.
What?
Metal pure blood. I like that one. It's awesome.
I have always hated the metal Pure Blood.
I liked that.
I thought the pose was ridiculous.
What?
I don't like that the whole Howl at the Moon thing. It looks stupid to me.
It's a werewolf. For
A
fuck's sake.
werewolf?
Exactly.
A werewolf.
Not a what
A
wolf,
werewolf.
a werewolf. We'll get into. Did you really want to go down that road? Because that's a big rabbit hole. Anyway, moving on.
How big is the
Where's the
hole?
wolf?
Where's it go? I want to go down that hole.
Where?
All right, that came out wrong, didn't it?
Anyway,
It's slightly bad, yeah.
if I'm going to have a big badass werewolf on the table, I want it to be sort of, looking at the enemy. I don't want it to be kind of looking at the ceiling going, oh, that's nice. It just looks weird.
Well, what if the ceiling is nice?
Well, that's
What if it's
just-
all Artex and swirly?
No one
Yeah,
likes
Mike.
Artex.
Hadn't thought that, had you?
Not even werewolves. How do you know what werewolves like?
Oh. Anyway, other people's thoughts?
Welcome to Elite Cadre, where we try and break Mike, and sometimes it sounds like we might succeed.
I'd buy it.
That was 65 episodes ago.
I'd buy 3 of them.
This isn't episode 66. What are you talking about?
It took me 5 episodes to
Episode
cotton on to the
66.
fact that I was just a broken man.
I can't.
Bad album.
I can't decide. I can't decide with this model. I like some elements of it. I don't like the neck. I like the axe. It's just I'm mixed. I'm kind of conflicted with it.
The axe has completely changed, I think.
It looks good from the back.
Wow,
That's all you were going to say if
Right.
you were playing it.
Exactly. That's just what I was thinking. Yeah.
that ass.
It's look at that ass. That's not what I meant. But I like your
That
style.
What
Actually,
beautiful wolf ass.
There we go. Looking at it, the axe has completely changed.
It's an awesome axe.
Grow up, children.
Axe. Moving on.
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm not doing any more new releases now. That's it, we're done.
Good, because that was it, wasn't it?
How?
And this is the
Yep.
new. This is the new Retribution Jack that's named after some body part. No, nothing. Good.
No.
No.
The meniscus.
The epidermis.
Anyway, moving on. Alex, you have recently hosted an event.
In your house.
Not me, never.
In your house.
Yes.
It was a close thing. It almost didn't happen.
It almost didn't happen.
I don't know.
No, it definitely didn't happen. I hosted the ETC. Had 150 players. We had obviously with Mark III dropped, we had the news that the rules would be released 3 days before the event was going on. So that was
That was a
time.
very, very interesting times for most of the players.
Yeah.
I think one of the key things before we kind of go on here is that I really expected a lot more rules calls than we got.
Wait,
ETC.
you've got plenty of rules calls, but a lot of them got the answer of read the card.
Yes. You had times we walk over and go, what does the card say? It says this. Okay, do that then.
Because people hadn't read the changed rules, were trying to play them like Mark II, then questioned an interaction, then realised that the card gave them the answer all along.
Yeah. Admittedly, there were some errata that turned up fairly close to the tournament, like Grim Salvation, which the original version of that was interesting. If you read,
people played trolls. Wait. Let me rephrase that. People played hordes.
There's a really weird wording on Helios's card, by the way, about
Word wording.
making initials. The order that you can do your dual strike or whatever it is, basically, it makes it sound like there is an order. It's very confusing. Whether you take your initials first or your range shot first, or whether you're limited by that, or you can do whatever the hell you want. The wording is very awful.
yeah, I can see yeah, I can see what you mean.
Can you see it there?
Yeah. But let's not go into that right now. Let's push that down the line. So, okay, Alex, talk to us more about the ETC.
What do you want to hear? What do you want me to tell? What do you want to talk about?
Highs, the lows,
Tell our listeners about what the event was, why you put it on, and then
Why they should
Okay,
go
so-
next year?
The event was the European Team Championship. It is a event for teams of 5 players. Very much in the style of the WTC. So I think quite a few people view it as a nice warm-up ahead of the WTC.
Well, didn't we have at least one of the England teams and the Scotland teams?
And the Germans.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the German teams was there.
So it is very much at this point sort of a warm-up event for certainly those teams.
It predated the WTC. It's what the WTC grew out of. The ETC before WTC existed was the big European tournament.
I am not the person responsible for the ETC as it is today. That was kind of forged initially by Jeremy Perkins and Rich Loxon, kind of then given to the company that shall not be named, and then kind of taken back by Jamie P when that company were no more. So he's run it at the Northwest Gaming Centre the last 3 years, I believe. So 2015, 14 and 13. Yeah, his life circumstances have changed slightly in the last 12 months. So he kind of, I was just chatting to him generally, said he wasn't going to be running the ETC anymore because he just didn't have the time to do it anymore. So I said, I wouldn't mind taking over. I'll, hopefully do it justice. And he sort of agreed, handed over the reins to me, and the rest, as I say, is history. So as I say, it's an event for teams of 5 players. There's no kind of qualification or anything like that. It is literally just kind of buy a ticket and turn up. I think things that went well, I was pleasantly surprised, as Mike said, the smoothness of Mark III. Everyone seemed to really get on with it. I wasn't doing too many kind of rulings myself, but the only things I was really questioned on was, as Mike said, kind of interactions that, if you have a look at the cards, have a look in the book, it's all fairly simply laid out, and kind of measurements and line of sight and stuff like that, just to double check things. But yeah, generally, I think it went really smoothly.
I think there was actually, because the event was held on 2 levels, and I was sort of taking care of the downstairs most of the time. There was only, I think, 2 rules that I had to go upstairs and have a question with the head judge on. And for that to be the limit of that shows that really it's a pretty solid rule set already. Yes,
and you had about 40 players downstairs as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
20 tables down there.
Yeah, 20 tables.
You did, yeah.
So.
You did.
So, just out of interest, how close were you to actual capacity? Was that sort of venue full?
So, 160 was the capacity that we had it at, and that was kind of what it was initially sold out to. Had a couple of late notice cancellations, which was unfortunately we didn't get the full 160.
Yeah.
Well,
I think with any event that's going up to that size, you're going to have a couple of last minute cancellations. So to actually still get 30 teams there, that is actually doing really well and shows that it's still an attractive event.
It was also it was originally sold out, was it not? And
it did. It sold out within like a weekend.
Between Mark II and Mark III that you as an organizer gave the captains the choice of, well, what would you like? The overwhelming majority said Mark III, and some people said no, I'm out. And
it was. One of the things that was going to come to was kind of what didn't go too well. And I think I've had feedback from a few people that have said maybe the price support wasn't as good as it was the year previous. A couple of things I'd wanted to do that I kind of initially said I was going to do was kind of a team swag bag that would have kind of dice and objectives and things like that in a few bits and bobs for everyone to take home with them as kind of a memento of the weekend. And unfortunately,
Cadre branding.
No. ETC branding. Unfortunately, there's a few contributing factors that meant that couldn't go ahead. There's an issue with the image that I had. Getting it produced would have been, or reproduced would have been timely and costly to get redone. And as well with the move from Mark II to Mark III, sorry.
Mark IV.
There were Mark IV. There were a number of teams who were sort of saying to me, well, if it goes to Mark III, then we're not going to play, and then another group of teams are saying if it stays at Mark II, we won't play. So kind of that uncertainty wasn't good for me being able to do stuff like that. But there is money left over from the pot this year. It is very much my intention to put that back into the event next year. I'm going to look at getting the logo redrawn, potentially redesigned, into something new.
Incorporating Elite Cadre.
Incorporating Elite Cadre. We'll have to we'll have to think about that one, Kurt. We'll wait and see.
Sorry, Alex. Has the venue got even better from what it was like at the Outpost? Have they improved upon the improvements?
It was very similar to how it was at Lock and Load Outpost. I'd been speaking to Tim, kind of the events manager for Element, and he was saying that they were hoping to get the new tables, they're building new tables, hoping to get those in time for the ETC. Unfortunately, as it worked out, the guy who's building the tables for them couldn't get them done and couldn't actually get them started until the Monday after. So the event was the last event ever on the old tables, which, you know, they've served the centre well, but they are definitely, you know, they're tired. They've been tired for some time, but they are getting replaced now.
Well, I think there was definitely at least one or two tables that were being unused that had an element of sagginess to them.
Yes, and there were some kind of running repairs on Friday evening as we identified saggy tables and had to stuff various pieces of wood underneath them. So, yeah, there's...
It's always a problem when you identify sagginess.
Well, that's it. You need to stick wood in it.
I think that's the Wayne Rooney theory on life, but there we go.
Oh,
Who's
wow.
Wayne Rooney?
Wow, topical.
Yeah.
What's a Rooney?
For several
What's
years.
the Rooney?
Wayne.
But yeah,
I think
so...
the tables themselves were sort of improved from the previous iteration of the Northwest Gaming Centre, because I believe most of them are now actually... Well, most of them at that point were the right size.
There were still a few that were kind of not quite right. But again, I mean, that's kind of that is an expectation with those tables as they were. It was something we announced at the start of the event that, you know, the tables might not be quite right, so double check. I mean, fortunate for you downstairs, you were on trestle tables with the official PP mats on.
Yeah.
So you had all the official size tables. Everything was ready and ready to go straight out the bat. So that worked well downstairs. Yeah, I mean, I guess Nick, you played in it. What were your thoughts on the event as a whole?
As a player, I mean, it was quite good fun. I think it was 5 rounds in the end, so
yeah, 5 rounds.
6, wasn't there? And we were the 5 rounds on the
with
weekend.
With it going
so it was quite relaxed.
The 6 rounds would have been if we'd have been over 100, over 32 teams. So with it being 32 teams, it would have only ever been to 5 rounds. There was the possibility that it would go to 4 rounds, but that would have meant that the pair down would have had to have won in round, or the pair up, should I say? Pair up? Yeah.
No, pair down.
Pair down would have need to have lost in rounds 2, 3, and 4 for it to go to 4 rounds. So it was unlikely, and when the pair down won, that was a bit of a sigh of relief on round 2, because that meant that there was no more opportunity of 4 rounds, which was good. So sorry, carry on.
But yeah, so it was quite relaxed, because a lot of these weekends now are 7-round tournaments. So you have a really packed Saturday with trying to fit 4 rounds in, and then you get your 3 rounds on your Sunday, and then you still got your drive home. But being a 3 and a 2 was just a lot more filled out. You still got a lot of the faces in the community out there. You still get to say hey to them if they're come to the event, which quite a lot of them do for ETC, which is always a good one. Meant that Saturday night was a bit more relaxed. There's quite a few groups going out for food together and things like that, and coming back to the event venue afterwards for a few board games and things. That's always good. And just some of the little things that you guys do for ETC, some of the little traditions you picked up, like the ice cream van at the end of the Saturday. Just little things that make the tournament something a little bit different and a little bit special. So it was pretty good. I said the venue's coming along nicely. They've got the new tables in. I've seen the picture of them now, and that's going to make it even better. It was having downstairs is definitely the right choice at that sizing. I mean, you could potentially try and fit maybe 128 players upstairs if you wanted to cram everybody in.
No, that would make it like the last ETC at the old venue, where every single square inch of floor was occupied by people, and it was a nightmare.
Yeah, but there was...
if you think upstairs, we had... there was 110 players, so 55 tables, and so that would be
But we were bleeding into the area that's becoming the bar area, weren't we?
Yeah, well, yes and no. I'm trying to think how many tables there were upstairs. If it's 110 players, it's 55 tables upstairs.
Yeah.
So that is 11. So there were 11 more tables up there because each row of five had a spare 4 feet on it. So with those tables as they were, if we used every single inch of those tables, we could have fit another 11, which is another 22. So 132 players we could have fit upstairs.
Yeah, so you could fit 128 players upstairs in a tournament, but it would be
There would, I mean, there'd be room to move around, but there wouldn't be much room to store your stuff.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be very much room at all to store your things.
Yeah.
None, in fact. But yeah, for 150 players, it's definitely over the 2 floors is the right thing to do. Whether we're going to see more tables upstairs, whether there's going to be kind of more better use of the space maybe to fit more people in, I don't know what the plan is. It may even be that the volume reduces, because I mean I can't see them filling up with 132 players every weekend. So you may even see the volume reduce slightly.
To be honest, I think we can, given what's happened so far, we can trust Tim King to actually make some decent decisions for that venue, because certainly what's happened so far has transformed it over the last 12 months. Because I saw when people heard that Lock and Load Outpost was going to be there was a lot of negativity around the venue. Because no one outside of, I think, Bob, Pete, and Jason knew that there was going to be sort of money put in there. And it's gone from one of my, how to put this politely, least liked venues to being actually a pretty good place to go.
Yeah.
It's not up there with Cardiff
You
yet.
can't get much higher praise than that, can you?
Yeah. I mean, it's not Cardiff yet, because that kind of holds a special place for me, because I love Firestorm games and
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's got a very special atmosphere. But the amount of effort that's been put into the Northwest Gaming Centre, if you're not going to something because it's at the Northwest Gaming Centre, at this point I think you've made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Very much so. Yeah, so the tournament was a fantastic weekend, as said. My team didn't do particularly well, but we never set out to do particularly well. We actually brought along a player who had never played a tournament game, had never played a game of Mark III, and had probably played about 10 games of Mark II.
Strong asset, then.
What's his name? Nick Topham.
How droll.
Sloan.
Come on. The terrain was pretty well done. There was a nice explanation at the start of the game, start of the day, of what each terrain piece did. There was a little bit of feedback I think I gave to you guys already, where the downstairs didn't get that briefing. So the players who had been downstairs for the entire tournament were then declaring things differently from the guys upstairs. So a little bit of obviously just a bit of communication between the team there, making sure that came out. It was a bit sad that we didn't get to see any of the new terrain. There was no acid bass, there was no dense fog, there was no burning forests or anything like that. But
I think it was just a little short notice for them to actually get, because we used the
3 days,
Cerberus terrain.
I think there'd be more rules questions if you did end up using it.
Well, Nationals are getting the terrain built so they can use the new terrain types at Nationals.
That'd be pretty good.
Got a ticket for that.
Yeah, the TVs made a good addition, especially when you kept the scenario up on there, meaning that because there was a scenario pack for the team, if players didn't have to bring their own, then people obviously didn't know what the scenarios were, and as a lot of people haven't, I mean, it's less than a month that the Steamroller Pack's been out. A lot of people haven't printed it out yet, or picked up their SmogCon books, or whatever they do to get the Steamroller Pack so they can keep it on them. Having it up on the screens was a fantastic thing, because it was just like, let me just check that. Yeah, cool, okay. So that was pretty cool to do, and really good fun event. I'm looking forward to next year when I can come and not win the spoon again for the 3rd year running.
Did you suck?
Personally, I went 2-3. That was third. That was middle of my team. I was dead middle of my team. Considering there are 3 WTC players on my team, I'm quite happy with that result.
Oh God.
Yeah, but that's Team Scotland too, though, isn't it? So
That is Team Scotland 2, yes. Team Scotland 2 is made up majority of my club up here in Glasgow. So.
Inferior Scotland team then.
Well, we play with the big boys. We just can't play as well as them.
So,
so yes.
I mean,
So, yeah.
Team Scotland have an attitude that it's very hard to replicate because they do absolutely no preparation. They go and get hammered the night before. They show up hungover and dying and just win.
Sounds like Wolfpack.
Kind of, but less offensive.
Okay.
sounds like Wolfpack, except they usually drop out of the tournament after 2 rounds. And go home.
Let's move away from Wolfpack.
Yeah, I was going to say that was
They stayed the duration.
I'm not sure if Mike's frozen or if he's just
sulking. Because we said
He's
Wolfpack.
contemplating.
He's dropped off. That's why Mike didn't put a stop to that, and I had to do it.
Sorry.
What's he putting a stop to?
Nothing.
You.
You brought it up, Nick. Blame
Yeah,
me.
but I did one comment.
One
You
comment.
exaggerated it.
I didn't exaggerate. They did
I'm
leave.
now worried about
No,
what I
I'm
have to
still
listen
with
to
it.
in the editing.
Let's keep on going.
Okay.
But yeah, the guys on Scotland Day. I actually played against Al, the Signal player from Scotland Day, this Tuesday, so yesterday. And in the 3 hours we were down the club, we played about 20 minutes, and we spent the entire rest of it just dojoing out moves. Just like, if we move here, what's the response? And actually, that's what Mark III feels like. Mark III has become a lot more about communicating and talking with your opponent about what you're going to do, and less about the actually moving things to do it. Because with the pre-measuring and everything, you can make all your intentions clear, and if you misplace a model slightly because you're thinking about something else while you're trying to do it, but you've made your intention of where you want it to be clear, it's very easy for you and your opponent to rectify it and carry on with the turn uninterrupted.
I just don't want to be in a situation where you end up playing against somebody who hasn't got those social skills to do it. Because yeah, I've noticed that it has become more of a you give, I give, and we all get on regardless of the result.
Yeah, of course you do.
But there
And,
are a lot of people that.
And yes, they
There's,
are.
there's always
There
been
were-
an element of that. It's just more prevalent now.
Yeah, but I just don't want to be in that situation when it breaks. That's why I'm a bit hesitant about tournaments.
So I did have that situation at ETC. There is a player who I have played quite a few times, who I have not had the best experiences playing in the past, and I ended up having to face this player again. And it was that awkward situation, especially when we're talking out situations, and it's very obvious from statistics on a card that if he has done everything perfectly on the board, there is no way models can be positioned correct for him to be able to do something. And it actually was a situation of, hang on, what did you just do? Have you just ran this for this far forwards directly in a straight line? Yes. And you moved the maximum distance? Yes. So there's no way that that can do this next turn. Measure? Yes, it can. Look, it's in. Like, but how?
Oh, I would encourage anyone facing that kind of situation who feels that something untoward is going on with the game, call over a judge, please.
They can only do so much.
I didn't care.
I know we can only do so much, and a lot of it should be sorted out by the players beforehand. But if something is statistically impossible, then that's a point where the game is broken down, and that's a point that the judges are there to look at.
But if someone wants to win, they will push as hard as they possibly can to refute
absolutely.
your evidence.
That has always been the case with war games. As I've said numerous times, people have said, "Oh, well, you can cheat more easily with War Room," and you're getting a parallax effect there, and there's odd things here. And it's like, if someone wants to cheat at a war game, they're going to. They're going to swoop up dice quickly and say, "Yep, that was a 7." They're going to mark damage off their cards. They're going to do whatever it takes to win. And those people, I have no respect for them.
Will you stop revealing all my secrets, please, Mike?
I was going to say, hang on, we get on well, and it's just, Stop it being a fun hobby. You haven't complained before. You just don't notice.
But I do think, actually, one of the things that Mark III's added is it's actually changed slightly some of the scope for that, because where there used to be a little bit of creative measuring, because now it's open measure all the time, well, during my turn I can go, yep, those models are definitely out of threat range. Do we agree on this?
Yeah.
No.
And that's it.
However, I know there are some players who really, really, really hate that. And I know in particular there is a player who has sold off after ETC because all weekend his opponents measured, kept out of his control, out of his threat ranges, and he just went, this game's not for me now. I'm setting up. I'm done. If my opponents can just game me like that.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, okay, fine. See you later.
I wouldn't see that as gaming the system. I'd see that
Yeah.
as, if they're doing that and constantly staying in a threat range, a lot of the time that means they're putting no pressure on the scenario.
Yes.
So you can move in and just start going, okay, if you're going to stay at a threat range, I'm going to be here scoring points. You're going to come and play. Because that was always the reason in Mark II where, if someone was new to the game and let's say their new opponent was playing Kane and they said, I can't win a game, he just teleports away. It's like, play a scenario. It forces people to come to the middle of the table and start facing you, which is probably the reason why a couple of people have voiced concerns about one or two of the scenarios.
Linebreaker.
Not just that one.
Yeah, I know. Linebreaker is the big one. Linebreaker is the big elephant in the room, but there are others. Yeah.
What do people think of Mosh Pit?
That was the other one I was going to say.
I like the pit.
Someone at our club set up a version of the pit and they went, okay, I think I can cause some problems here. Pick their list because they knew it was something they were going to go to a tournament with. Laid out the scenery in a valid way and said, I think I'm going to be virtually unbeatable on this map, and said, pick whatever you like, try and beat me. And the guy facing them just couldn't break it down quickly enough to stop a scenario with. I can't remember what they did, but once you saw it, it was like, oh yeah, that makes it very hard to contest.
Wasn't a Gordon list, was it?
No, it was a retribution list.
Oh, okay.
Shooty.
Yeah. I think it was Virus 2 with a lot of Griffins.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Virus 2. It's still. I mean, you've still got synergy topping off at 3, but
It's not as good as it used to be, but it was enough to stop an advancing Menoth army with 4 heavy jacks.
rough terrain, a lot of rough terrain as well.
There was some rough terrain. There was obstacle. It was a real mix of stuff that was just intended to, essentially help in breaking the scenario. It wasn't unfair, and as a TO, I'd walk up to the table and go, "Yep, that seems fine." But watching stuff just walk into this halfway through, it's like, "Oh yeah, that scenario might have some issues." Yeah, that's one to watch out for, I think.
I'm interested though that somebody just pretty much went to one tournament after so long and just went, "Yep, this game's not for me." That reaction.
Well, interesting. I mean, I realise we're getting away from the topic of the ETC, but I think we've kind of given a good summation of what
ETC
happened.
was fun. Go next year. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I have so much hesitation about playing this game again.
Yeah, it's not the first person I've heard give some kind of worried comment about the game has changed. It's now about staying out of threat ranges, and I'm not sure I enjoy that anymore. And I think that's kind of only natural because, yes, things have changed. Wargamers are not the most change-friendly of people. I'm just going to put that one out there.
We are grumpy and old.
It's the whole autistic spectrum again, isn't it?
Well, I don't think that. See, I feel that, but I'm not in the autistic spectrum. I see it as time and effort to learn. I'm not, and time and effort to learn. That's what I haven't got.
Yeah, that is actually a very fair comment because there is a little bit of a learning curve. I would say there's not as much as I thought there would be.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I'm hoping, and that is what I've heard, and that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
Because
I think
it's
I
less
think it's
of learning. Oh, go on.
Oh, sorry. I think
Turn.
Shut up,
personally,
Alex.
I think this first tournament for anybody in this is going to be really intimidating, regardless of whatever you do. And some people will cope well, so others less so. Sorry, go on, Nick. Sorry.
What was I going to say? I was going to say it's less of completely relearning a brand new system, and it's more of just adjusting play style, and a lot of it is things that you actually are just like, oh, I can just do this now, which like just fitting into pre-measuring, and it's just like I can just do this, and it feels natural. It feels like you should have been able to do it all along.
Yeah, I think the one player here who's played all 3 editions so far. Alex, have you played Mark III?
I've not played anything Mark III yet, no.
Right. Okay.
Some of the problem I've got is that there are some of the rules that have come in that are quote unquote new that have echoes back to Mark 1. And that's already caused me confusion before I put them on the table.
As
Stuff that I was trying to put aside because I had already got confused and not only just stopped doing it, but they hung around a long time.
What I would say is that the changes from Mark II to Mark III are far smaller than they were from Mark I to Mark II. And we are talking, by my second game, I felt I was completely up to speed with the new rules and was just ready to go.
So in some ways that's worse because some of the changes are subtle. They're going to take a lot longer to learn the dramatic change. It's kind of like the numbers, like the actual points. Playing 500 points, I had that, I could do that, and then we suddenly went down to being 500 is 35. I'm like, what? And that was quite dramatic, and that's fine. I'm finding it harder to adjust up a bit and things like that as well. It's kind of it's a little bit different, but a lot different, but not a lot different.
I think you're just finding there are two elements here. One was for me in tournament games is the thought of a tournament game is the communication aspect, because I'm not hugely confident, and I know that war games sometimes fall into that thing where someone gets browbeaten basically into accepting that reality that the other person's putting forward and doesn't want to call a judge or whatever, and I can see that happening to a few individuals. And then there is that I guess it's the opposite side of that, is taking for granted, thinking that rules are there still. I didn't realise that the Pain Knight had lost Rapid Strike, and I just took it for granted that he'd still have that for the point cost. For 8 points, he gained Shield Guard which is far less what he was supposed to really be doing in an army, which is just a solid brick. But I guess if he's charging 3 dice, Weapon Master 4 dice on whatever power he is, it would be a bit obnoxious to do that twice, I guess, in a turn. But there is still stuff that can do that, which is I don't know where the give and take is. But it's taking stuff for granted like that and then potentially ruining a game.
I think the most careful you need to be with the new rule set is actually looking at your own models beforehand, because there's a lot of stuff that I've noticed in Mercs. It's like, oh, this is ever so subtly different. Okay, that's fine. I can deal with that because that's on the cards. You're going to have access to through the whole game. And if there were plenty of times in my first 4 games so far where I've just gone, I think I know the rules. Let's just make sure before I actually roll any dice or take that extra movement or whatever. A couple of times I've gone, oh no, that has changed. But a lot of the time it's kind of you've seen the changes beforehand and said yes, that's fine. We can go from there. I would say again though, we talking about people being browbeaten by more confident opponents and just accepting something, is that if you are at all unsure at any event, there is never a legitimate reason not to call the judge if you're unsure.
Unless you're playing me and I'm right. Even more so, unless you're playing me and I'm not sure, in which case definitely don't call the judge.
Yes, there are plenty of times where both players at the table where I've been playing have been absolutely positively sure, and well, and it's just a case of call a judge, 5 seconds, it's done. There are plenty of players as well who, as soon as you question any rule that they come up with, they'll just call the judge over, and that is a great way of doing it because it just means it's sorted out, nice and quick, and over and done with it. You can get on with your game, rather than having a 5-minute argument. I hate to keep banging on this drum, but I would rather people call judges over and actually sort of get to know what the rules are properly than sit there and have a bad experience with an opponent.
But not all judges are as rule savvy as well in this edition, or were in Mark II either. And then you've got 3 people.
Right. Yes, there are some judges who are less rule savvy, but at least if a judge heads over the table, you have a decision.
Yeah.
And that actually is the primary purpose of having PGs and judges at an event. It's not necessarily to give you the right judgment every single time. That's the aim, and that's nice if it happens. But the aim is to get the game restarted quickly and get you back in there. Which, is why sometimes, the judgment was bad, but carry on. We've got to deal with these things. At least the game carried on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might sound like
downtime.
It might sound like a very odd position to make from someone who takes a decent level of pride in knowing the rules, but there are realities that we'll have to face. There we go. That's my little soapbox moment.
No, it's a fair.
Moving on. What's the next topic of conversation?
Well, okay. This is one that I know you wanted to bring up, that you kind of floated around at the ETC. I don't know, was this inspired by someone else on your team or someone else you know, or was this?
No, so it was inspired by the fact that I was thinking about SmogCon and actually thinking about the Iron Arena, and I've been trying to, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, there are certain people who come along to game the Iron Arena and get the biggest prize out of it that they can. Which is absolutely fair, and I think you're going to move on to this, but yeah, which is fine. But the tournament organizer side of me, the side of me that likes to plan and create these things, doesn't want to let somebody be able to game the system in that way. I want the system to be fair, whether you're sitting down, meeting some new people and playing some games, or whether you're trying to rack up as many points as possible. And so we were looking at that, and obviously I've had a few ideas that I've talked to you about on how the skulls can work and things like that. The biggest question that sort of came to mind, though, is competitive events and their relation to the Iron Arena, and whether they should be giving skulls to the players that play in them. Because getting the balance is very difficult, first of all. You can't overweight and give too many skulls to a player that's playing in a competitive event, because then why would you play in the Iron Arena when you could just go play competitive all weekend? If you're a top tier player that can be winning competitive events, you're then coming out with the prizes from the competitive events, and also then cashing in your skulls for...
Why? Go back a little bit. Why? I lost the beginning. Why would you give skulls to someone playing a competitive event at all?
It's become a thing in the UK. It just has.
I think it's to encourage people to finish.
Yeah, if you finish the tournament, then you receive a certain amount of skulls. I mean,
I've got that. Yeah,
it's usually equivalent to about 2 games worth in the Iron Arena.
I remember that. Yeah.
So my question became: we were talking about competitive events at bigger events like Lock and Load, SmogCon, where you are not there for the competitive event, not like ETC where you're coming just for the tournament, or Nationals where you're coming just for the tournament, but you're going to the event as a whole. And why do we still use the Swiss system? That sort of became the question. Why do these players need to finish? In the end...
When you first said this to me, there was just that little bit of the back of my mind going, he's finally flipped his lid. He's lost it. Carry on, and we'll see where you get to.
Because why do these players need to finish? If you set up a double elimination style bracket, so you get 2 losses, you get 2 chances before you're out of the tournament. If you lose in the first round, you go down to the losers bracket. You can carry on getting some games in. It allows it just generally allows a smoother tournament because you don't need to keep track of those players that are no longer playing for any top end. Those players also don't feel obliged to finish the tournament just to get their skulls or anything. They can walk away, they can go get some food, they can go check out the latest board game if they want to do that, they can go get some games in the arena, they can go check out the painting lesson, check out one of the seminars. There's so much to do.
You're advocating this as part of these bigger events where there's multiple competitive games all weekend, multiple things you can play all weekend. You're not talking about, you're not advocating this as a standard thing.
Why do we lock people into a Swiss system? Why do we say you can play in this?
Well, that's how Steamroller works, isn't it?
And it's going to take 12 hours of your day.
That's how Steamroller works, though.
Yeah, that is how Steamroller works. But does it necessarily have to be how all events work? Could it be an option in Steamroller for large tournaments to have a double elimination option?
I suppose it could be. Do you know who would be able to answer that question for you?
Well, any event organizer, frankly.
William Hungerford. Right. Your question was, could it be in Steamroller?
Well, yes,
Speak
true.
to Will Hungerford.
Yeah.
He will tell you whether or not.
That's absolutely true.
No, that's true. But it was more of to raise an open discussion of if you were attending, you are a competitive. Take it from all angles. You're a competitive player. You're a slightly competitive player, but maybe just trying your teeth out for the first weekend, or you're just a casual gamer coming along to one of these events. How would you feel if they were a double elimination style rather than a Swiss tournament?
How much chewy food is there? If I'm trying out my new teeth for the first time, they're only having to like toffees and things like that because they can pull your dentures right out.
Yeah, true.
Love you, Nick. But no, it's a good point. It's a good question. It is an interesting question because there are many tournament formats of different games, card games, board game. I don't know board games, but they do run on double elimination systems very successfully. So there is no reason why it couldn't work.
How would you feel as a player? We're all players. We all play this game. We don't just run events. We don't just PG events. We don't
speak for yourself.
I mean, Benj, you play a lot more than the rest of us, maybe?
No, just a club at the moment. Not much. I don't really know. I don't really know how I feel about this.
You don't know.
But okay.
I think my first reaction.
Here's a better question for you, Benj.
Okay.
Would it be something that at a large event, if you saw that the tournaments there were double elimination, would you say to yourself, "Oh, I'm not sure I'd be bothered going there"? Would it put you off from going?
No, but I go to tournaments for different things, for different reasons than most people. And I'm a bad test for this question, to be honest.
I
think as part of SmogCon and those sort of bigger events are different. I think as a day tournament, I would never tolerate it.
Yeah,
of course.
Don't get me wrong. It was never a suggestion. If you're talking the average 16-player Steamroller,
no,
you wouldn't run that double elimination. But for something like a SmogCon, or if War Machine gets there next year, DAFCON or Lock and Load, something like that, where you've got multiple events going on all the time, and there's the opportunity for you to go off and do something else. And you're always going to get dropouts at these events.
Yeah.
It's not something that used to be a feature of the UK because, well, we had one big tournament every weekend. But now that we've got a lot more of these events where you've got a succession of small events within, people go, oh, I've lost one game, I can't win the tournament, drop, done. And that's it. And there's always the things like, oh, it's messing with other people's strength of schedule, and it's bad for this reason. If it's double elimination, you go, oh, I've lost 2 games. Well, I'm going elsewhere. There's no consideration of strength of schedule there at all. You can just walk away. I seem to have killed the conversation.
I don't know. Is the honest answer. I don't know. I don't. I've never attended those events as a player. I think that's the strange thing, apart from the first SmogCon. I don't know.
I think I'm in a similar boat to Kurt, unfortunately. I've not really.
I can't
I
imagine.
think it's the wrong audience to ask the
Maybe this
question
is
to.
the wrong podcast to think about it. I mean, it is something that I need to get hold of John or whoever is going to be running Lock and Load next year, and just throw it at them and say, what do you think of this? Does that?
What do you think you gain by doing it, Nick? I can't see a positive.
It's so at the moment, if you're a player and you go and you want to play in the Masters because maybe you just want a shot at it. You think, yeah, there's an off chance I can make it, and you go 0-2, you often drop. You just go, right, I'm not having a good day. I'm going to go do something else.
But now you're all talking about forcing them to drop. That's the bit I don't like.
But at these big events, it is essentially an enforced drop. But at the same point, you've then got the Iron Arena, so you can go and play games that are actually worth it.
But you can do that now, so I don't see a positive. You can do that now.
But it messes with the strength of schedule for everybody else. It messes with tables. It gives people buys when you don't necessarily, where you otherwise wouldn't have them, and just generally makes a mess and a pain for the tournament organizer.
Yeah, I was going to say, occasionally speaking as a TO, people do say, "Oh, I'd like to drop," and then walk away. And you're like, "What's your name? Who? What?"
Yeah.
So what you're advocating is the bottom quarter after the second round would be gone. So therefore, that you'd be able to plan for that, and you'd know they'd be gone.
Yeah.
And another third would be gone.
And they would just consistently be dropping. It also means that as a tournament, you take less and less tables the longer your tournament goes on. If you're therefore in a free-flowing system, where
that would put me off attending those events. Yeah.
It would put you off.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is interesting.
Because I think if I want to play Masters, I want the choice. You've taken away that choice. If I want to drop, then I've kind of got something better to do. I'm hungry. I'm going to do something else. But if I also have. You and I have played second from bottom table in a Masters event.
That's true.
In the last round.
True.
We both thought we were doing quite well in the earlier rounds, and but I still wanted to play that through, and we wouldn't have had that game. So I don't know. I'd prefer to have the option. If that was the system, that would prevent me attending any of those. That might potentially put me off playing ever attending those events as a player. Even
if it meant that you could go away and do painting seminars, or
I could do that now.
I
could do that now. The difference is you're telling me that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
But right now,
I think to kind of act as a mediator in this, I think that with events like SmogCon, there are big enough events in there. There are enough events in there. Sorry, that you could, in theory, run a double elimination tournament where there is an enforced drop at a certain point.
Yeah.
You could also then run several. Yeah, you run several days.
I agree with that.
You could also run several, Swiss systems. You could, in theory, run
both.
A double. You can run both. There's nothing stopping you from running both, and I think that is the joy of kind of these larger events, is that there is the scope to do more different things.
That appeals. Yeah. I can see what you mean, but what you're talking about is making it easier for the organizer.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was also
there's no positive to the player. What you described gives no positive to the player at all. It's all about it makes it easier to organize.
Well, it was also like your players of mid caliber. Does it make them more interested in trying their hand at a Masters, trying their hand at an Iron Gauntlet, knowing that it's not going to take 8 hours of their day up?
It doesn't anyway. They can walk out.
But some of them will stay around for the skulls.
Right, but that's still their choice.
Yeah,
the only benefit what you described is to the organizer, which is fine. I can get behind that, especially as a TP team as well. Not that I've done a great deal of PTing, but at the same time, from a player point of view, I look at that and go, why?
I mean, I'd probably slightly disagree with you, but I don't think that, given what we've said, we never really see eye to eye completely on that one anyway. So,
what do you mean?
Motion carried.
Yeah.
I mean, he is quite tall.
Yeah, true. I would have to get a box.
What do you mean, Mike?
I don't.
Don't say so you could be higher up.
No, I don't think it's necessarily just to the TO's advantage.
I don't understand. I don't see a player advantage.
The player, there are some players who will just, even though they're frustrated, even though they're having a bad day of tournament, will stay in. And for those players, it would be an advantage in that it gets them out of the tournament and gets them to go and do something else. Because we've all seen them at events.
Yes.
Where they're on the bottom tables, they're stressed, they're having a shitty day, they're giving a bad experience to anyone
there is
who
maybe
plays them.
that social stigma as well within the community of
Yes.
I don't want to be that one that drops and leads to a bye.
Yeah, exactly, and it puts it on odd numbers. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Enabling that. Maybe it's about building that to give the option or make it more openly that it's part of the process. Maybe there's a middle ground where it's more plain that there's an option where you actually offer the option of drop after 2 losses rather than it being a compulsory thing. That's the thing. So take away the stigma, make it part of the process. That I can get behind, and then also change the way that the tournament's organised and ease that potentially. It doesn't quite ease it as much because people will go, no, I'm still going to stay in. I don't know. I don't know. It's a difficult one because I haven't played in big tournaments apart from the UK Games Expo, where my entirety of UK Games Expo experience have been spent on War Machine tables, because I've never seen any of the frickin' event, because I've only ever played War Machine.
That is your fame, though. That is your fame.
What?
Just on a side note here, being able to go to UK Games Expo and not run a War Machine event this year, so good.
Was depressing for everyone else. Yes, Mike, you selfish bugger.
I didn't get down to the Games Expo this year, but it's sad that there wasn't a War Machine event there.
Yeah, it is.
I did try my best. I tried to get several other people to run it.
Who was supposed to take over? Someone from Warsaw or something?
There's a short list of candidates. I had at least 3 people say they were going to run it and then later pulled out. And in the end, for those who've seen me when I was organising last year's, that was not a happy time for me for various reasons. If you ever want to know why, please come and talk to me at a tournament and I'll explain to you in agonising detail why.
Give him port first, it's much more funny.
Yes, it's yeah. But anyway, it was nice to go to Games Expo. Just, fancy
Wander
free.
around.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying there will be no War Machine there in future. I'm guessing they may try and get it back, but goodness knows what's happening with the venue for that, because it's already packing out an EC1. So.
Wow.
Oh, their attendance numbers jumped pretty hugely.
I was really tempted to come with my eldest, but couldn't get. I couldn't bring youngest. She was too little. So I think next year I might bring her up.
Yeah, I would say. Obviously, this is again on a slightly different topic, but if you can get to UK Games Expo and you're at all interested in board games, RPGs, card games, anything,
I don't like any of those things.
Exactly. If you're at all interested in any of that, it is a great day out. It's not terribly expensive. Well, except for maybe the lunch, but
I've never seen any of it in the
Take a
3 years
sandwich.
I've been. I've never seen any of it except War Machine tables.
That's impressive, because even when I was playing, I managed to get around there. So.
No, didn't get anywhere. But yeah,
Were you too busy at the bar?
possibly drinking. Yes.
There we go. Okay. I think that's potentially enough topics for, well, I would say a midpoint break, but
Let's just go to any other
3/4.
business.
10 past
3
1.
quarters.
Do we power
Painting
on?
table. Painting table.
No,
Any other business.
we've got spelling it out to do.
Wait, what?
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Moving on.
No, Nick volunteered. We're doing it.
We would like to apologise for the level of signal content in this podcast, but not to Richard Dean, who I'm sure will really enjoy it.
It's okay. I'm not playing Signal right now. I'm not taking Signal to Nationals, so it's all good.
Yes, he's already figured out they're completely overpowered, and he'd rather play something sane.
Yeah.
Like Convergence of
What,
Sirius.
like Minions?
Convergence of Sirius.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Convergence of dildos.
Convergence of... Yes.
Sex toys.
Now, these all look the same, but this one does this, that one does that one does this one does what I like.
And
This
you're
one knocks
buggered
you
if
down,
you
this one's a
remember.
ground pounder, this one flies. Anyway,
Oh, actually, when I have this casted, they all fly.
so, Nick,
Hello.
do you want to start going through Cara Sloan for us?
Oh, where's War Room? That's Convergence. Please change the Signal. I can do most of this with the top of my head. I don't even know why I'm trying to look.
Preparation.
The thing, what do we do on spelling out? Do we talk about the weapons and things as well, or do we just talk
Yeah,
about stuff?
that's the first thing we talk about is the
The
weapons.
clues in the name.
So do we just? I can't. I thought we used to sort of give an overview of the caster, so I'd be like,
do.
Cara Sloan, she's been here for a while, but you've not seen her on the table, and now she's here for Mark III.
Oh, God, this is already terrible.
Please stop him.
Right, who let him in? Can we have a bit of an inquest?
So she's a speed 6 map. No, you don't even care about her map.
No, you don't need to do the stats. You don't need to do the stats.
All right, so she's got a cool little sniper rifle that's a weapon master. It's pretty good range and it's magical.
You don't need to do
and
that.
It's
You don't
badass.
need to
Okay,
do
let's
that.
move away from Spitfire then.
Okay, the most important thing on the front of her card is she is Focus 6.
She's Focus 6.
There
She's
we
a Focus
go.
6 caster, which is kind of on the low side for Sigma, but it's about average for the rest of the game.
It's a shit tier. Focus staff.
Especially as she can't. Oh, okay. She can take the Squire, but she doesn't want to take the Squire. Not anymore.
Nobody
Not now
wants
that
to.
Reinhardt's a attachment.
Yeah.
So she wants that extra shot. She doesn't care about the stealth breaking that Reinhardt does because she comes with this beautiful field march called True Sight, which ignores cloud effects and stealth for her entire battle group. Love it. Fantastic.
For Warjack's in her battle group, she herself, though, has True Sight on her own anyway.
What?
As in,
Oh, yeah.
The
Sorry,
field marshal
the
doesn't
field
affect
marshal
her.
is for the yeah, and then she has True Sight herself. Yes.
yeah,
Because
people forget that the field marshal has changed.
Field marshal is just the Warjacks, yes, but they gave it to her.
So
as
it
well.
wouldn't
So
affect an attachment then?
it wouldn't affect an attachment. That is true.
I still don't know why War Room has the attachments for Warcasters in with the Warjacks.
Because you attach them to the Warcaster now.
But-
Yeah,
Because
but they're
that-
not
that-
part of the battle group.
That's the way every list builder has done it since the dawn of time, Benj.
Yes.
They
I
just
thought
do
they
it.
were part of the battle group, aren't they?
Ah!
Staring so. Nice. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, do you want to go through her spells now, Nick?
So she's got funky hair. You didn't mention her hair, Nick. I thought you'd start with her hair.
And 90% of people have reposed her from her retarded holding the gun in the air post and looking down the barrel or casually holding it. Because
I'm not.
I have done
Can you
I
please
have also done
repost?
that.
Can you please resculpt for me, PP, please?
No, I should reiterate. If I had any signal, then I would have definitely done that with the gun using an Eldar kind of arm.
Okay, so we're going to start with the spells in the order that you're least likely to cast them.
No.
No!
Start
Top
from the
to
top
bottom,
and
you.
work down.
Oh, okay.
Don't break the format.
Okay, so we're going to start.
Let's rebellious. Let's go alphabetical. Oh my god.
Okay, fine. So she has Dust to Dust as her first spell, which is a 2-cost, range 10, PAL 12. It is an offensive spell. Ooh, what happened there?
I don't know.
Apparently I broke everything. Let's fix my computer.
Meanwhile, here is some music.
So, Dust to Dust.
Interesting technical difficulties.
Shut up!
2-cost, range 10, PAL 12, offensive spell. When an enemy warrior model is boxed by Dust to Dust, center a 3-inch AoE cloud effect on it and remove the model from play. That AoE.
Just go over the
lasts
actual
for
stat
1
line of
minute.
the spell again for me, sorry.
2, 10, 12, offensive.
Right, starts again. Cost 2.
range 10, POW 12.
12. Upkeepable?
It's her shitty nuke.
Yeah.
Is it upkeepable?
Why would it be upkeepable? It's an offensive spell with no
Just
G
trolls.
plus attached to it.
Go on then. So,
Just for the trolls. Nice.
and
Good
what-
work, Alex. Full marks.
and what do you do?
Anyway, her second spell is probably the one you're going to cast on the first couple of turns, which is Fire Group. It's another 2 cost. It's a self, and it affects her control area. And models in the spellcaster's battle group are in the control range. Their ranged weapons gain +2 range.
Nice.
Really handy, especially when you're having range 14 hunters now becoming range 16, or you're having range 16 defenders becoming range 18.
It combos nicely with the battle group she wants to take and her feat.
And putting Dynamo from range 10 to range 12, putting herself from range 4 to 16 is sickening enough.
I just want to say, visit Elite Cadre and listen to the marvellous Nick Topham, who can add 2 to absolutely anything.
I was just going to say, it always seems like the biggest leap there is between range 10 and range 12. Range 10 always feels like slightly short for anything.
So
But
16 to 18 feels like more of a what the hell kind of percentage. I agree, 10 to 12 is bigger percentage, but going up to 18 is like, oh my word, that's a long way.
Yeah, because the threat range just number becomes 23, and 23-inch threat range is terrifying.
Was it previously 21?
That's Grumangus, that's what that is.
Isn't that Steakhouse?
So Fire Group's one of the staple spells. You're going to see Cara Sloane cast that a lot. The next spell on her list, she's pretty much casting every turn because it's Guided Fire. 3 cost self-control. None of these are upkeepable, by the way. She has 1 upkeepable in her
Going a
entire
bit bloody
spell
quick
list.
here, Nick.
So Guided Fire's 3 control range, and while in the spellcaster's control range, model in the battle group gains boosted range attack rolls. So all the nice shooty models she's going to want to take get some boosts. I mean,
Yeah, this is what enabled what was going to be one of the first major jank lists of Mark III that doesn't really seem to have gone anywhere.
that's because
People realised it didn't quite work.
it's not that it doesn't quite work. I mean, the maths on it is so off that you may as well just pick up a dice and roll, and if you get a 4, 5, or a 6, then say good game and shake the hand, and if you get a 1, 2, or 3, good game, they win.
Yeah.
If you want to play that style of game, War Machine's probably not the game for you. Go play HeroClix. So Guided Fire, it plays fantastically. She didn't have it before in Mark II, so it was a nice addition for her in Mark III. It's almost always going to be cast because it's so focus efficient, because herself, she wants to boost her shot. If she's taking 2 shots, she wants to boost both of them, so she only needs 1 jack to be doing something and wanting to boost a hit, and it's become worth its focus.
Yeah.
So Guided Fire is almost always going to be there.
If she's got Reinhold, then yeah. It's a no-brainer.
So,
Well, it's also
just
has
explain
worked
to
really
me, sorry, with the whole, like, you were saying, that this is the birth of the jank list. I've heard a lot about, obviously, Cara Sloane being the new Broken. What exactly defines her in that way? Why?
So it's also due to her feat. So we need to cover her feat first. So if we finish the spell list, and then we can come back and discuss that list afterwards. So there's 2 more spells she's got first, which is Refuge. It's
I
a 2
think he told you there. You got told.
cost, range 6, upkeep. This is the only upkeep there. End of activation, where a friendly faction model hits an enemy with an attack. The affected model can make a full advance. So it's okay, but it's situational. Like, you're only going to cast it every now and again.
You're either using it to shove a jack that's got ranged and melee down someone's throat, or you're using it to go back out of threat range.
Or you're not casting it because you've paid 2 for Guided Fire, 2 for Fire Group, 3 for Guided Fire, and you're camping 1.
Oh, it's a situational spell, I grant you.
Yeah.
But it is there for situations.
There are times where you'll use it to get a jack moving around.
Yeah.
And then the last spell on there is 1 cost called Return Fire. It's a range 6, lasts a round, and when target friendly faction model is targeted by an enemy ranged attack, after the attack's resolved, the affected model can make 1 basic melee or ranged attack, and then Return Fire expires. Pay a focus, take an extra shot if that Jack gets shot.
It should be
Once
noted
again,
as well,
it's situational.
you don't have to either shoot or try and hit the model that was trying to attack you. It can be anything. So
just make a basic attack.
Yeah, the name is a bit of a misnomer.
Yeah.
So, but that's a mistake I've seen multiple people make. So.
Yeah, so shoot at me and I'll shoot you, Caster.
And then finally, her feat is a firing squad. Models in her battle group, in her control range, immediately make 1 basic ranged attack. When resolving these attacks, the attacking models gain +2 to their attack rolls. So everything takes an extra attack. It's alright. It's pretty good.
And so with that, was it fire group, was it? Or was it guided fire?
That's firing squad. That fire group's the increased +2 range spell and guided fire. So the jank list was Kara Sloan and a bunch of hunters. Now what you do is the hunters are deploying. So if you go first, you're deploying 7, and then hunters are advanced deploy. So they deploy up to 13 on the AD line. Your opponent then deploys their stuff. On turn 1, all your hunters get a focus from power up. They use that to run. They're speed 6, so they run 12 down the board. Kara then walks up, casts guided fire, casts fire group, and pops her feet. The hunters will be within control range because they've got the extended cortex on them, so they're considered within there, even though they can be massively up. They get the +2 range, so they're range 16, so they can shoot 3 inches into your opponent's deployment zone with some boosted shots. They're only boosted to hit, not boosted damage rolls. But it means you can take a heavy off the board, or you can potentially try and shoot a caster out on turn 1. And that was the jank that people were worried about.
Yeah, and that was at Rat 9, boosted to hit, armor piercing affecting all base sizes.
Yes.
Rather than just being, was it +2 on small and half armor above that?
Yeah. But I mean, you're effectively PAL 12, kind of. It's in one way.
It doesn't quite work like that, but
weird
it's
curves. But yeah, it's interesting. But you are 50% or lower on most casters to kill them. Plus, remember, they are camping their focus, so the higher the focus stat, the harder it becomes because they can block a lot more of the packages of damage that are coming in.
Yeah.
The other idea is you go second, and then you don't need to run before you can feat, and you can move your hunters up, and if they've moved anything up to 3 inches outside of their deployment zone, you can shoot it on your bottom of 1. And you will have boosted to hit and potentially boosted damage rolls because you're not needing to run with the hunters.
Okay. So what's put pace that then? Has that been kind of
list incredibly fragile? You are just running Kara and a bunch of hunters, and Kara, she's defense 16, armor 14, I think. There's a lot that can just take her off the board if she's not well protected. I mean, Behemoth can accidentally kill her just by bombard shots on top of 2.
Basically, if you fail the assassination, or your hunters get tied up because they've no longer get parry, then you're in a very bad situation very quickly.
Yes.
Hence the 3, 4, 5, 6 you win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just roll a dice, flip a coin, whatever. Yeah, it's the list. The list wasn't as good. I mean, there's the WITC lists which are up, which I think is the Chain Attack guys team tournament that they're doing, and there's a player who's running a 7 hunter variant. And
Wisconsin would be.
Internet covers it.
It's not Muse on Minis.
I don't know.
Yeah, Wisconsin Team Championship. Oh, I'm trying to remember the name. Crippled Systems.
Cripple Systems, is that
Yeah.
the one? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so there's a guy who's running a 7 Hunter variant there, and I'm interested to see how he gets on. Personally, the list I took this weekend at ETC, which I felt most comfortable, was what we refer to as the doubles list. So it's 2 Hunters, 2 Defenders, 2 Fireflies, and a Dynamo.
Why is it called doubles list?
What? What was that, Kurt?
Why is it called the doubles list?
Because it's 2 and 2 and 2.
Because it means you roll doubles whenever you roll 2 dice.
Oh, see.
Then you get to go.
And it just...
Sorry?
You get another go.
You're all doubles.
Yeah.
Just carry on.
Not if you're good doubles.
Oh God.
And I found that was a much more balanced list just because it gave you the same sort of shooting power. The defenders are have a lot bigger. I don't mean bigger threat range. A lot
Easy of use,
harder
right?
hitting while still keeping the range game there. They also can very quickly convert to melee, and their hammers are something to be feared. Yeah, I mean, there's another variant of the list which is running around, which is triple defenders, double grenadiers, and that one is basically what Kara's going to do is she's going to shoot you. She's going to shoot you and shoot you and shoot you. You need to stop her from shooting you one way or another. Menoth's pretty good at doing that because she has very little access to magical weapons. She has to bring Arlen or A&H, and she doesn't really want to be spending those points on those support solos. She'll probably bring a Tinker and Arlen at most, and maybe an Adept if she wants some way to drop a defense on something. But if she doesn't want to be spent, she can always put those points into another shooting jack, and that's going to work better for her. So she has bad games into things like Protector and things like that.
Cool.
Interesting.
Okay. I think that sums up.
Kara's
Spinning it off.
known the shooting caster.
Any further comments on that one?
Yeah, you
No.
got the cigar.
Okay. Well, then I think it's time to move on to the slightly renamed segment because it quite
Painting
frankly,
table.
it branched out of its original purpose.
Hobby area.
Any other business. So, as you're first on the list, Alex. Any other business?
I refuse to take part in this section.
Okay. Benj. Any other business?
I am not really up to much apart from trying to learn Retribution and sticking with it for a change.
Good grief, Benj.
I know.
What is this madness?
I don't know. I usually change factions every other week because I fancy playing something slightly different.
Yeah, that's the reason, Benj. Well done.
But you're doing something slightly different in sticking with one faction.
I am, and getting a bit of fun out of it. But yeah,
He's
Still
playing,
hate
No,
the,
you don't have too much fun, Benj.
He still hates it, don't worry.
playing the retro broken. That's what it is. So
yeah.
Made him happy.
okay. Kurt.
How is he second? I'd just like to raise that at this point. As it's
No.
AOV.
Because there's a little bar at the bottom of my screen with all of you in order, and I'm going by that.
It's because it's in alphabetical order, and his name
No,
is
you shut up.
there.
You don't know what alphabetical order is. Anyway, I'm painting. I'm painting quite a lot of trolls because I'm going to the team tournament in Cardiff. Or I think I am.
The OTC,
That's the one. Apparently,
run by friend
so-
of the show, Martin Jenkins.
I believe so. I've met him, I think. And I'm painting lots of trolls. Trolls, some of which are taking champions and making them. I try not to repaint them entirely by painting their skin from blue to white. So to avoid
Would
a
this be
repaint,
some sort of new albino scheme then?
it's the very, very new, cutting edge, the bleeding edge of yeah. So I'm painting some trolls for a change, not painting zombies or plasticky stuff. I'm actually painting trolls, and I'm currently just been painting the junior knot and fire eaters as well.
Junior not.
That's the one. I do have other news, which is I'm almost dreading the notion of saying so. I've had my documentation come through today that I'm officially now a school governor.
Oh God.
What? I don't know. What? I don't know.
Kurt, I'm sorry, you're far too responsible. You sure you belong on this podcast?
I don't know. I don't understand. What happened?
You used to be
They asked. I said, yeah, all right. They said yes. Oh, it's very strange. I clearly am old. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that the end of your any other business?
Yeah, I think that qualifies as any other business, doesn't it? Yeah.
Okay. Nick?
I don't know. I've been.
Nick, you've
I've
only
been
had while
gluing
everybody
up
else is
some.
talking to think.
I've been gluing up some convergence theories. So I've decided to, as we said, decided to jump off the power signal wagon while I can, and go to a slightly less powerful faction, only slightly. But I realised that I'd paid convergence up until Mother, and I had everything up until Mother painted, but I didn't have anything since then. And I've managed to brew a bunch of boxes that were just sat under a desk, and I've cracked them out and started gluing them all up.
Mother.
Mother. I believe I took Mother to Ireland, which I think we talked about in this podcast,
She
right?
had fun.
Good
She enjoyed
grief,
that.
that's a long time ago.
That's how long ago it was since I touched these. So yeah, I've cracked the convergence out. I'm going to be taking convergence to nationals, and I'm going to get some paint on them, and yeah, it's all going to be fun.
I believe that tournament in Ireland was firstly the last time I used cards to play War Machine, and secondly also the last time I played Cadre.
I've got my troll deck. I've got my Mark III.
You have played Cadre in hardcore tournaments.
Yeah, there was one hardcore tournament since then I've played Cadre.
That creaky Tkachev list has come out a few times.
Yeah, it's not coming out yet.
Ironically, I've never played War Machine without cards.
Oh, this is a discussion for next time. Yeah.
I'm sure we've done this discussion before, but okay. Richard Dean did ask that we do this discussion again, so I'm sure we can put that on the agenda for next time.
So I'm a convert. I really like War Machine now. War Machine. War Room.
Yeah.
Tell you what, rather than have that discussion now, we can save it for the next
Let's do
episode.
it next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick won't be there though. He'll get voted off.
I am the weakest link. Goodbye.
Uh,
So Mike, what about yourself?
well, first of all, I've been doing some painting because I got bored
The living room.
of all the tin that was visible on my models. And some of them have been sitting there in a half-painted state. Well, the halberdiers I painted, I originally started painting those for SmogCon 1. That tells you how long they were sat in that kind of half-done mess.
It also says we've known each other far too long as well, I think.
Yes. So SmogCon 5 was this year, and they started to be painted before SmogCon 1. So I've finished off 20 halberdiers. I've painted up Gallant, who's been just a silver undercoat for as long as I can remember. Rongai and Snapjaw, they've had a good going over as well. I've painted up a Rover, because Kev wanted to borrow that for the ETC. And to be honest, I've put that on the table now, and good grief, that is an effective Jack with McBain. Armor 22, you can't cripple the systems, it's got shield guard, and you can cast Jackhammer on it. That seems to work.
Yeah, that'll work. I imagine so.
Yeah. I've got a painted Reinhardt as well. I keep wanting to say Reinhardt, and it's just doing my head in.
Charge!
Yes. I painted up Alexia 2, just in time for me to realise that she's pretty bad in Mark 3. And I finally finished Rocinante. Which
is that still War Machine? Or is that something else?
That's Mercenaries. That's the character check for Damiano.
Right. I see.
Yeah.
I thought it was euphemism. Never mind.
No. Rocinante had been sitting half painted for a very long time because I'd originally put him in my Damiano list and went, this doesn't work with Damiano. I'll put it with McBain. And then Galleon came along and Rocinante kind of went out the window. So.
Well, literally.
Pretty much. Although that said, my Rocinante is converted from a metal one because the Merc plastic jack is terrible, terrible, terrible. And I'm just never going to let go of that one. It is an awful looking kit.
Podcast of positivity.
Podcast positivity.
It is. Because you can still buy the Metal Nomad and convert it into whatever you like, and it will look a lot better. And that's that.
Yeah,
So
to agree to disagree.
I know Richard Dean likes the plastic kit more, but I just can't agree because
He plays Signal anyway.
yeah, I just find the plastic kit hideous. It's so bad. I'm trying to think of any.
I'm supposed to go and play him next week as well.
For the rest of any other business, I have actually got 4 games of Mark III in. I've
Battle reports.
Actually, I've had none, but I also presented my eldest with her Legion of Overblock starter box this evening. So I shall be teaching my how old is she? Nearly 9-year-old how to play War Machine at the weekend because the youngest is on holiday. So, yeah, so if you hear the screams, don't come running.
Well, the one game I've lost of Mark III so far has been against the most awful list I can imagine, which just it was Vlad 1 with 13 Berserker Chassis Jacks, and yeah, it's so many boxes to chew through. I got it down to 5, of which 2 were nearly dead by the end of the game. I just went, no, I can't do this anymore. It was hideous. But the others have been quite positive. Magnus 1 is pretty good. Played him against minions a couple of times, and he's still a nice toolbox caster, and power up really benefits him. It means the renegades can go in and just chainsaw stuff down now, and he doesn't have to care because he doesn't have to give up focus. McBain, I really like the changes they made, other than the feat, because the feat has gone from the amount of focus on him +5 models being super tough to being D6 +5, and random feats are the devil. So,
Especially for you.
Well, I'll just say I've played 2 games so far. His feat covers D6 +5 models, and I've had 6 models twice.
Yeah, like I said, not for you. It doesn't work for you.
Yeah. I roll dice, it comes up 1. Yay!
Get back to the dice then.
Yeah. It's all on the wrist. You need to slide the dice across the table.
Perhaps you should hire a dice roller for the day.
I'll just get Jimmy
Well,
in with
a dice tray.
I'll just get Jimmy in with his fixed casino dice.
Yep.
So, not that I'm alleging any impropriety there at all.
No.
God, I hate casino dice.
Yes.
I really fucking hate casino dice.
Yes.
Along with all that other stuff you really enjoy.
Life in general.
Life is fucking awful.
So
Let's
you
just
say.
get out of the way.
And on that bombshell,
Yay.
I think we need to hand across to Alex to sign us off.
You've been listening to Elite Cadre, the Hordes of War Machine podcast that isn't always down in the dumps. I've been Alex.
I've been Mike.
I've been Kurt.
I've been Nick.
I've been Benj.
He is always down in the dumps.
Yes.
Successful episode!
Bye.
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 Bye, Nick.
There we go. We're all done. Thank you to the 2 people who've listened to us throughout the show. Hopefully you've not gone crazier by now.
They're bots, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, I think one is Matt Townsend, because he's been replying occasionally through Twitter, so thank you, Matt.
What?
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 Busted.
Yes. People are listening into your bench.
Lies.
Yeah.
Nobody listens into this.
Anyway, I'm going to press the stop broadcast button now, so thank you very much for listening.